Recording in progress.
They set up another table to process people. That's how busy they've been.
Wow.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I was there this afternoon and I was talking to a few of them, and you know, I saw that when I put my voting card in,
Yep.
and it hit 375 on something, and I said, how many people have been here today? He goes, a couple thousand.
Yeah.
And that was about 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, they had early voting, and I think it was 400 a week ago Tuesday, but 1,012 on the Thursday.
Okay.
So I got us up to close to 1,500. Well,
And we have
it's almost half.
15,000 available.
Yeah, that
vote.
can vote. You know what we were talking to, and I do a thing on the Rock Radio with the nursing home.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the woman, she goes, hey, you know what, they're letting us have a little advance poll here for our 200 or 400 clients. We only got an hour and a half to vote. I said, you know what? Last time in the mayoral category, Mitch Hipsley beat Aaron Keenley by 86 votes. Wow. People could decide
Yeah.
who's going to be the next mayor.
Exactly.
And she goes, wow, yeah, having our say, and good for them.
Yeah.
Seniors, a lot of them have difficulty getting out and can't get to advanced polling or even to the Gallagher Center. Now, I know they had shuttle buses running today, too. You could phone and get that. So the city's trying to make it as easy to get out to vote.
And you know what really helped too, Randy, is this weather. It's
Yes.
magnificent. Like, it's 10 degrees, and
Yeah.
I'm talking to my grandson who's in Croatia today. Same temperature there as what
Isn't
we
that
have here,
something, eh?
except we had bright sunshine and they had clouds.
They had
so it
cloud.
just shows you, it doesn't matter where in the world you are.
And I don't really remember, you know, I'm 70.
Are you?
Yeah. So I don't really remember 4 years ago weather, but Jordan Patswald, my cohort on the Rock, does. He said the weather was horrible
Was it?
in the 2020 election. He said it was horrible. He said they extended hours like in the southwest swift current now because of a storm. And I go, oh, I do remember some of that.
Yeah.
So weather has not been an issue to not get out and vote. So for mayor, yeah, in Yorkton, Mitch Hipsley got 2,000 votes 4 years ago. Aaron Keenley got 1,914, 86 votes difference. We had touched on, I think, before we had audio,
Yep.
so we'll go through it now that we do have audio.
We were practicing.
Aaron Keenley was asked by many, are you going to run? Are you going to run? No. And I'm sure it was tough getting that close in 2020 and not winning. That's tough. I've been through an election
right.
too. It's
you have.
it's not easy. But he didn't want to run. But then when he saw nobody is running, wait a minute, got to have somebody. You can't acclaim somebody in the city the size of Yorkton. There's got to be somebody to run. And I understood his point. I understood his point fully. And he came out, and it wasn't just that. I mean, he's got some ideas, and he's put forward. And something he did, and Mitch has done it, and I think a lot of the candidates now, used to be door knocking was a central point of campaigning.
Right.
Now it's this thing.
Yeah. It's computers, it's
And it's
Facebook,
on, it's social media, and get on and do a little video, short, quick, everything you, oh, there's another pop-up, there's another one.
Yeah.
And that's how you campaign now. And I said, that's not only a good way to campaign as a candidate. When you go door to door, sometimes you go to a door, they don't like you very much. But on here, you don't have to face that, so that's a good thing. So they're running, and that's our two candidates. Both were councilors ahead of running in 2020. They were elected in 2016. So Mitch is looking for re-election, and Aaron Keenley looking to unseat him. We will have two new faces at least.
Right.
With Ken Chiz not running and Chris Wyatt not running. So there will be two new faces for sure. Looking for re-election, Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Darcy Zaharia, and Dustin Breers.
Right.
Loretta Ritchie McInnes ran last time, running again.
Yeah.
Did pretty good last time.
She did.
Did well. Greg Litvani, Ron Irvin, we're with AccessNow TV.
We are.
And so is Ron Irvin. And I remember his dad. I believe he was a librarian at the regional high school, and I remember him.
That was his dad.
In the yes, I'm pretty sure.
Gosh, I remember
Geez, I hope I'm right. Geez, I hope I'm right, Ron, if you're watching. Gurjeet Dhaliwal. Met Gurjeet, great guy.
Yeah.
Really done an amazing job at the Bentley as an executive director, turning that place around in health for a long time. Has got a lot of good ideas. Visionaries is what you're looking for too in council, right? You got to think more of just tomorrow or next week. You got to think 5, 10 years down the road when you're even not a councilor anymore, but what you've put in place. Stephanie Ortinsky, of course, that's Terry Ortinsky's daughter. And I knew her a bit, but she's been gone for so long. Highly educated.
I know, that's
very bright woman. Has worked with municipal governments in different places in the world. Has a real understanding of how that government thing works. Todd Culture, businessman in town too, is running. So Ritchie McInnes, Litvani, Irvin, Dhaliwal, Ortinsky, or Culture, 2 of those 6 for sure are going to become councillors. Just to quickly tell you about the public school, Jan Morrison, acclaimed, Steve Verine, acclaimed, and Cara McCourt is the new woman who will be on the 3. All 3 have been acclaimed. The one who stepped down was Gord Gender.
Oh, did he?
Gordon Gender stepped down, saw him not long ago at Walmart with his wife. He's got that VW convertible. They're enjoying life, and I think Gordon has finally stepped into full retirement. I hope so. Good for them indeed. On the Catholic side, Jerome Nisgoda. What a wonderful man. Jerome is, and involved in so many capacities in this city. He is back by acclamation on the Catholic side, along with Jerry Kabelka and Fred Schrader. I know. Wow. 2 nice names there to be acclaimed too. Doreen Rathgaber and Patricia Zariski not running this year. So those are the 3 that have been acclaimed to the public and Catholic school. So as we run today, we see that Wyatt and Chiz, of course, not running. Dustin Breers finished 6th 4 years ago. 4 years ago, the last one to get in at 1,655. 71 votes behind him was Cam Mailing. Cam came close, not running. Pretty busy in business.
Right.
Doug Forster came pretty close. Doug, of course, ran provincially, Saskatchewan United Party. Then Loretta Ritchie McInnes.
Right.
And she told me, she goes, you know, one of the goals I had, you want to be elected to council, but if not, I wanted to finish in the top 10. And she did. Now she's hoping to elevate that. Heavily involved in a lot of the boards in the city, library, on and I, of course, worked with Greg Ottenbright. His whole term, 16 years. She might have been there every year of that. Bright woman, looking to get on too. So, yes, and has a great understanding of, I think, through her involvement of provincial politics, what happens at this level too.
Well, you can be a lot more personable, I think.
I think you have to be, don't you?
You have to.
You're more accountable. This is where you live. This is where people see you every day in municipal government. Provincially, you can go to Regina. Right. Federally, but in civic politics, you're here. And you're accountable and you're answerable all the time. If you have thin skin, oh boy, tough to be in public service.
Look out.
Because as good as you can do, and, you know, remember, even Greg Ottenberg, I think his last time he ran, he got 72% support. 28% didn't support him.
Right.
So they're still not happy.
That's right.
You know, kind of thing. So politics is not easy business, but we thank all for putting their name up. Public service. Not an easy gig, but thanks for doing it.
Well, you know, and that's what I said too. Like, we have to thank these people and step up and be there for them if they're taking the lead to run our city. Let's be there for them. Let's support them.
There's a lot of committees as well, and subcommittees that the public can be in. Many of these people have and are. and that'll continue. So if you want to be involved and go, I don't have time to be a counselor or the mayor or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you could be on a committee for the Gallagher Center, for the library, different things that the city's involved, economic development. So now, issues. And there's always issues. One of them I want to bring up, you as a business person. And the chamber got together and had said, we're just not getting along well with the city. A lot of roadblocks, a lot of stumbling blocks, can't get things done. Had a meeting with city, and I imagine some of their managers. I'm not sure, I'm not privy to what happened. But, boy, they've got to work hand in hand.
Darn right they do.
What are some of the things that you had found?
Like in business right now, like running my financial services years ago
Right.
was different because I was my staff, everybody was very into community. Now I'm only doing it kind of part-time, so I'm not in as much.
Right.
But I watch whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, whether it's the Yorkton Business Improvement District, which I was the chair when we originally started it way back then.
And now Caitlin Kitsen.
And now she is
Good
the
for her.
executive director.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
being a part of that.
it was such a good organization, and I'll never forget when it started. We went to an event in Penticton, BC, and when we got there, people are going, why did you guys fire your mayor? Because they saw how pumped up he was for Yorkton, and way back then, that was Phil DeVos.
Oh, sure.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah, hey, that's a while ago.
So as far as the chamber, like I really do believe the chamber is the advocates. Like that's kind of their big thing is that advocacy for small business or
They
for
speak
business.
for business
to
in general.
Speak
Yeah,
on behalf
yeah,
of business.
yeah.
Us business owners don't always have the time to do that. And that's why often, how many times do we see business owners sit on council? Like in all these years, how many business owners have sat on there?
Yeah.
Right? So I do believe that there does need to be way bigger liaison between the city of Yorkton and the chamber and the businesses, because that's really what runs the city. Is the
Yeah,
business.
and if there's problem, whatever it is, I know they've talked to, Chamber wants to see SAMA be more, how do you figure this out, your taxes? Can't you make this simpler so I can sit down and go, oh, that's how they calculate it. As opposed to, I got to hire a guy to figure this out and then go, now do I want to appeal and what's the process? And excuse me, the higher government you get, there seems more the red tape. Maybe that's part of the problem the chamber had. City, I'm not sure. But there are issues.
There's issues.
That
And
the business
even
community.
Community,
Yes. Canadian Federation of Independent Business.
You got
yes,
it.
Yes.
I was a member since I started my business years and years ago. The information they bring forward is unbelievable. And it's for Canada.
Yeah, across the nation.
Yeah.
And a lot of it can be, even though from Yorkton to Ottawa, but part of the central part of what they do works for both.
Right.
And how you're dealing with government and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's part of an issue. Certainly the library got a lot of attention. Initially sold, they were going to move it out to the Gallagher Center. And I, from a financial standpoint, kind of understood. Got the space at the Gallagher Center. We don't have to pay for it. City owns it.
Already.
We don't have to pay for snow removal and stuff. It's all part of it and whatever. Big public outcry, business on the verge of being sold, and then it's contaminated.
And then it's contaminated, exactly.
And it's like, how do you not know what's going on? They're still hauling stuff, I think, in and out of there. They weren't not that long, so they're still working on it. So the pump. Jim, who's going to go to the library, when I talked to her, I said, is it okay where you went? Well, we kind of had to, but 5,000 less square feet. That's big for a gym.
Oh, big time.
She had to build a mezzanine to put stuff up there and make it work, make it fit. But in finding out it was contaminated, it was not good. Now again, is that city and business, and it's not all out there and being clear and
transparent.
Transparency is the word. Yes, exactly.
I think it's being open and transparent that makes people understand better, because there's probably more to a story. And when we can hear kind of the truth of the story and more transparency, it might make us open up more as the citizens of Yorkton.
As people.
To know where they're coming from.
Individuals.
Right.
We all make mistakes.
Right.
You got to own up to it instead of going, I didn't do it. And then it gets worse because now you said you didn't when you did.
Nobody wants to take ownership.
And then it's like, and then you get found out. Now it's worse.
That's worse.
we're forgiving. And it's the
That's
same
worse.
thing in the city. We made a mistake here, but we've learned from it and worked with business, whatever
Yeah.
it takes. And the transparency side, that was another thing that has come up too with the chamber forums that we held. And
Right.
the municipal one was budgeting in camera.
Right.
Why can't that be out here in the public? Let's see the decisions you're making. It's our money. What are you doing with it? Why do you have to meet in private for that?
Right.
That was a big issue too.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good one.
Oh, so do I, because like you say, we're paying the taxes, right?
Yeah.
We have buildings, we have homes, we have whatever it is in the community.
Now, if it's personnel issues,
That's
that should be in
different.
camera.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you're deciding where you're spending the money, which is our money, and how, kind of like see it. Now, they do a nice job when it's all said and done, like setting out the sheet and the pie, and here's where your money goes, and all that kind of
That
stuff.
loony.
Yeah.
The loony,
and
they
it
break it
shows, and the breakdown
Yeah.
in that. But nevertheless, I think a lot of people are like so skeptical of politics over the last 20, 30 years and getting worse.
Yeah.
Donald Trump reelected.
Yeah.
What kind of transparency there? What's
Yeah.
going to go on there? So there's this cynicism towards politics that at all levels,
At all levels.
they are
Oh,
being too secretive
yeah.
about what's going on and how
Right.
the money is spent.
Yeah.
And all we want to do is find out.
Yeah.
So that's an issue I think council will have to address too in how they want to do it. Another one is, and I don't know when was the last time Yorkton had an economic development officer? We don't have an EDO,
You know, we
do
don't have, and you know, years ago I was on that board
Right.
on economic
Economic
development for a
development.
year, and then I forget if it was election year or something went on, and I remember my the co-chair at the time, she goes, I want to nominate Lori again, so I got to sit on for a second year, first time ever
Right.
that someone got to sit 2 years. And I'll never forget when they were looking for someone to be economic development officer, and I'm going like, they want every single person on that committee had something different they wanted out of that person. I go, that is not going to come to us in one human being.
Yeah.
But what
no,
is
that's
it
right.
that we want our economic development person to be?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So no,
Well,
we
I
don't
think
have
they're
anyone.
important. I remember, well, this goes way back, I don't know if he was the last one, Larry Horncastle.
I know. Larry was good.
Very good.
Oh,
I think he went to Alberta somewhere.
yeah. He was
But
really
again,
good.
economic development. Now,
Yeah.
if you take a look at the city,
Yeah.
what has grown, what has happened?
Right.
And, you know, you take the 2 crushing plants, big,
Yeah, that's big.
employ a lot, subcontractors, contractors.
And now
What-
they're expanding.
Yes,
There's
but
gonna
what's
be-
beyond that?
Right.
What has been built beyond that?
Right.
You know, an issue there. That again, building homes, economic development, growth of city.
Yeah.
And where's the plan and what are we looking for? So
And
people
let's
of
all
vision.
see it. You
Hey,
know, another thing is,
I see our first contestant in the gallery has arrived, Chris Wyatt. Hey, oh, he's not going to be contestant. You're not going to come on down and play? Not anymore.
Well, I'll come out there, but I'm not running.
Attaboy. Chris Wyatt, thanks for your service to
Yeah.
the city as a mayor and as a councilor. Chris is not seeking re-election this year, but he's down here to see who is
Yeah.
going to be elected this year. So again, as we get rolling here, kind of like our pregame show, 8 minutes before the polls close, and that's going to be right across Saskatchewan. So we kind of give you an idea of what will happen when I was down at the Gallagher Center in the Flexi Hall, the machines that you put it through.
Yeah.
And there's going to be 4, but the first 3 are being counted at the Flexi Hall. So when I voted, the first 2 had people at it, so you go to the third one.
Right.
It's just you go to the empty one, and, or the lineup, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's, if we get number 1, it's probably counted first. But after 8 o'clock, they have to take all that voted, cross-reference that with the sheet you signed.
right.
And make sure that it all adds up and they don't have a discrepancy there,
Yeah.
because if they do, then they got to find that.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll go well and everything will add up. Also, when they go to number 4, that is the mail-in, maybe the advanced ballots, things
Yeah.
like that have to be counted. So I know in 2020 we waited quite a while
I
for
know.
number 4
Yeah.
before it was decided, and needed that. That last one decided who was mayor.
Mayor, yeah.
And
By
maybe
not a
some
lot.
of the councilors too.
Yeah.
So that'll come in, but they're not anticipating it being as long, simply because They had hundreds of mail-in ballots last time because it was COVID,
Right.
and they don't have that many
Right.
this time. But there's still a lot of counting to be done. Are we going to be done by 9 o'clock? Likely not.
I
That
don't
might be
know.
pushing it, but
Yeah.
hopefully it's not past 10.
Well, I hope not, because that's my bedtime.
See, well, yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. You know what? I want to run through a few things here before the polls close. And Balcarres, Mayor Kent Esplin, 6 councillors have been acclaimed. Kenora, Michael Quaz. Nobody runs against the Quaz man. Acclaimed. This is a community just built a big pool, outdoor pool. Now they've got hockey in Saskatchewan, looking to build a new community center. And those are not just rinks, that's walking tracks, convention center, things of that nature. Good luck, Kenora. Michael Quaz acclaimed, but 13 people are running for 6 council positions. Melville, wonderful man, Walter Strelaski, not seeking re-election. Kenneth Cherney, Maria Cole Gale, and Joe Kerwin running for mayor. Old Joe. He's with the Health Foundation, or the Health Region.
Way back.
Way back when. Still going strong.
Sure
6
was.
councillors have been acclaimed. Cam Sack, Beth Dix, Shelley Philipchuk running for mayor. 8 for 6 council positions. In Springside, acclaimed mayor is Debbie Banks. They have cut from 6 to 4 councillors.
Yeah.
So they got 6 running for 4 councillors.
Right.
Priestville, 3 for mayor. Darren Newton, Michael Dugan, and Dale Schur. 11 in Priestville running for 6 council positions. Sturgis, Dean Harris, and Randy Somerville running for mayor. 11 for 6 councillor positions. Saltcoats, Mayor Kirby Baczynski acclaimed. 5 of 6 councillor positions acclaimed. Got an open spot there for somebody
There
who
you
wants to
go.
fill it.
Yeah.
In Langeberg, Mayor Jeremy Stasic is running for council. Doesn't want to be mayor, got a young family. So I want to spend a little more time with him. So 9 are running for council. Not sure what's happening with mayor there. Esther Hazy, Randy Bott, and Grant Forster. I think that's Doug's brother.
Is it?
Doug Forster's brother.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
pretty sure. 9 for 6 councillor positions. Foam Lake Mayor is Shelley Thone Tchaikovsky. Boy, she has been a pillar in that community for many years. 9 are running for 6 council positions. Then we've got a couple others. Fort Capel, Lavinia Henderson against Brian Strong. 10 running for 6 council positions. Regina, 11 running for mayor. Incumbent is Sandra Masters. She beat Michael Forget out. That was in 2020. And in Saskatoon, Charlie Clark is not running. At least a 2-term mayor. 5 are running for mayor, including Don Atchison, who's ran before, and Gordon Wyatt, a former Saskatchewan Party MLA and minister, is running. So that just gives you a little feel for what's happening in our area, who is running. Results from here. Oh, and don't forget, too, RM elections for reeves and councillors. I think it's odd numbers. So, all candidates running are going to find out tonight if they've won or hold a council position. I would suggest for people watching, check with your local municipality, find out when the numbers will be in there, because some may not get posted till tomorrow, even though the candidates will know tonight. And here in Yorkton, as we said, there are 10 running for 6 positions. Mitch Hipsley, Aaron Keenley are running for mayor. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Now, we talked about voting apathy when it comes to the municipal elections. Just had a provincial election, 53%.
Right.
And that's not good. That's twice as many of those what happened in Yorkton in the last election in 2020. So, I don't know. When you vote provincially or federally, there's party affiliation. Where, well, I don't really know the candidate, but I want that party to win. I'm going to vote there. When it comes to a civic election, these are all individuals. You have to do some research on your own.
Darn right
Find
you
out what
do.
these 10 people stand for and what they can bring to the city. You got to put a little work in.
Right, and I know the chamber hosted an event where everybody
had an
was asked the
opportunity.
same questions.
Yeah. And to speak about it. But it also gave those in attendance an opportunity to speak to the candidates too, and see them afterwards. So it'll be interesting as this all plays out tonight. 7:58 means for those that are straggling down at the Flexi Hall, you're just getting in under the wire. 2 minutes before the close. When will we get our first results? Difficult to say at this
Hard to
time.
say.
They anticipated around 20 minutes.
Did they?
Yeah, 15, 20. If, again, there's a matchup between who voted, who registered, and they have to cross-reference everything.
Right.
Now, also, after they announce tonight, they still have to verify, and that'll be done tomorrow. It's almost a 48-hour window before they really make it official on who's in. So, but, you know, we'll have a better indication of that tonight to see how the vote spread is.
Right.
You know.
And like you said, you know, the early voting. A lot of people that I know of went out and early voted. They could drive through, they could do a lot of things.
About
so
1,500 that
it
have
was
to be
15?
counted.
Yeah.
Now, I don't
Yeah.
think any of that could be counted until the polls are closed.
Right.
So they'll start after that. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how it plays out because, again, it was that fourth round of voting that decided things last time in 2020. And, of course, in 2016, we talked about voter turnout then. 4,819 people voted. And this year, about 15,000 people are eligible to vote.
Yeah.
So hopefully better than the 3,976, 26% we had
Let's-
last time. But we're not alone. Regina had, I think, 27%. Saskatoon was a little better, maybe 29. What do you think it is? Like,
Wow.
what do you think?
Well-
On the apathy that we seem to have when it comes to the municipal vote.
It just feels like people are thinking, I'm one vote, I don't matter. That's how it feels when I kind of chat with
Yeah.
people. Like I walk around town sometimes handing out these heart-to-heart cards, and I have conversations with people, and I can hear them complaining at the coffee shop. So I walk up to them, Randy, and I go like, so would you take on that role? No. Would you take on that role? None of them would take it on, but they sure can complain.
You know, back in 2003, when I was much younger, I ran politically. And
I
for the
remember that.
nomination of the party,
Yeah.
when the votes were tallied up, we were tied. Every vote counts. That's the first time
Yeah,
I've been involved in something like that, that they had to have a tiebreaker vote one person to decide who would get in. So it was kind of shocking when you go through everything and the process of signing people up, getting them out to support you, give your final speeches, and then they count it up and they go, well, you guys are tied. I said, so what do we arm wrestle to see who gets it? Like, so what happens here if the mayors are tied? What if they both have 2,116 votes?
Arm wrestle.
Arm wrestle.
Arm wrestle.
Okay? Cage match, raise money for charity. Absolutely. I like that. Jeez, I hope they're tied.
That would make it a fun evening, wouldn't it?
Well, you know, the chances of it happening are rare,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Hey, just
But
speaking back,
it can happen.
speaking back to when you ran,
Right.
do you know how many people I saw go out and vote that never had voted before?
Oh,
So
at that one?
Oh,
yeah, I know.
my gosh.
I signed up people who had no idea what they were doing.
Hundreds and thousands
Yeah.
of people.
What do I do? Where do I go?
Yeah.
Is it a progressive vote? Because I don't want to stick around. It's like, oh, jeez. They're so engaged politically,
I know.
you know. But you're right. From this standpoint of civic politics, and we talked on it, it's the most
Yeah.
accountable.
Yeah.
It's your city. It's your community. There's lots of committees
Yeah.
that cities have, that you can. So maybe you're like, I don't think I could win being a counselor. I
Right.
don't the name recognition or whatever. Well, this is the starting point.
Yeah.
Getting on these committees, get known, become involved, see how this whole city operation works.
Yeah.
It's a big job. We've talked about some of the big things that have gone on, but you know, there's the budgeting of a city.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of elements, people, you know, you got to do so many sidewalks, you got to finish so much road.
Right.
York Road was a big project,
Yeah.
2-year project, but something had to be done. That road was never designed
For the
to
semi.
hold, for the traffic it's
Yeah.
got. Plus,
Yeah.
it's got better drainage and just updated. Yorkton's an old city. If you take a look
Right.
from, I don't know, probably Myrtle to 6th Avenue, that first block off Broadway, almost every building is brick.
Yeah, I know.
That's how it was built, but it's underneath in the infrastructure, and it's old.
I
And-
own
and
one of
there's
those
so
old
many of them.
buildings.
Yes.
And it is old, but boy, is it well built, you know. When we had work done in the basement there, the carpenter goes, oh, is this building built well?
Yeah.
So
Oh, they're solid.
they're
Brick.
solid.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the Three
Yeah.
Little Pigs thing.
Yeah.
Come on. You can't blow down the brick. What are you thinking?
Not at all.
I'll tell you though, I was at I was at Parks Jewelry,
Yeah.
Gary Lamb, and this is the one when, I don't think they were on Broadway, they were on Second.
He was on
Avenue.
Second or
Yeah, Second, and so I asked him to build, you know, I don't want to buy a new trophy, we got this thing we're doing, I want a trophy about this high, and, oh, come downstairs, I'll build you one. So I went downstairs, it was like a Wes Anderson creepy movie, eh? You could hear dripping from the pipes, it was cool, creaking, and he's just down there doing it, and I went, oh man, there's a lot of basements that are like this. And then the flood of 2010 and things happened there. You know, and again, you look ahead, and that's what council and everything, you know, with how we can stop some of that flooding and move water and doing some of that. And you know, you got to have vision. You got to look ahead. But there's always certain things, snow removal, you got to budget, grass cutting, and everybody,
And
well, how come this park isn't got its grass cut, you know? But you don't vote, and you're not on a committee and whatever, right?
But you're complaining.
But, you know, so there's a lot more to it, and I think people don't really fully understand that from a mayor standpoint, Mitch still has his photography, but, you know, previous mayors pretty much have been at retirement. You know, you look at Ben Weber, you know, and Bob Maloney had retired from television broadcasting. And because you're the face of the community, it's busy. As the mayor, you got a lot going on. You got a lot of travel going on and everything else. You look at the councilors, these are pretty much working people like everybody else. You know, so, but yet, put a lot of time in. I mean, I've seen some of the book they get there in preparation for the council meeting. It's some serious reading to know what's going on.
And then they all sit on committees.
And that too,
Yeah.
That city representatives there too. 8:05, so we've got the polls closed. Right across Saskatchewan, so it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out here tonight. In the cities, of course, it's cities, towns, villages. There's even some resort communities that'll be voting as well for their councilors, their mayors, and RMs too for their reeves and councilors. And a lot of them have been acclaimed as well. But again, you know, when you look at last election and the difference, well, the only one who did not get in, I guess, who ran last time was Loretta McKinnis.
Right. Yeah.
Cam Mailing had run, Doug Forster, who we talked about, had gone provincial, Dick DeReich, C.V. Sastry, Calvin Tokarczuk, Scott Sharp, Jordan Rosluck, and Terry Schneider all ran in 2020, and that was 15 candidates. We're down to 10, 4 looking to be reelected. Quinn Hayter, of course, principal at St. Paul's School, and like I've always said, you know, when you're the principal of a Catholic school, you've got that Catholic vote.
Yeah.
That's good having that in the hip pocket. Come on. That's a lot of votes to start off. It's like you've got a head start, eh? Randy Golden brings a lot to the table. President of SUMA, urban municipalities, I think with, what is it, Canadian business. She's involved in that
she's
too.
Involved in a lot.
And of course, Yorkton Tourism. Darcy Zaharia, financial guy with provincial government, but heavily involved in the community, probably best known for his work with Yorkton minor football and all the great work he has done there. That whole group in what they've done with the football program in Yorkton.
Oh, it's talked about everywhere.
Yeah, and is recognized as a great program. Dustin Breers, what is that, Cadence?
Yep.
Cadence
You got it.
Construction?
They won an award at the Chamber of Commerce Success Awards.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
And maybe even provincially, certainly locally.
Yeah.
And I seen Dustin out there in a picture, and he had the big crane up because they're getting ready for the Winter Wonderland, putting the lights up on the trees at JC in the campground. So he was there with his group. So Loretta Ritchie McKinnis, involved in a lot of committees, and of course, longtime association with MLA. Greg Ottenbright. Ron Irvin with AccessNow television, and longtime Yorkton guy, family here, former chamber president, among other things that he has been involved in the community. Gurjeet Dhaliwal, fairly new to the community. He's been here for a few years. A member of the Lions. Of course, executive director out at the Bentley. Done a really nice job there.
And he's a nurse by trade.
And he's a nurse in the health field by trade. You know, on the Rock, we run an auction. And Gurjeet put a room up there, a single room for 1 month. And the guy bought it in the auction, and I went, wow, he's not going to Mexico in January, he's going to the Bentley.
Mind you, the Bentley's kind of fun now.
I'll tell you, a lot of good things happening.
Yeah.
Stephanie Ortinsky, one of the Ortinsky girls, of course, Terry's daughter, back in Yorkton. Quite a resume. You should Google her. And I can't remember a lot of the stuff that she's been involved in, but heavily involved.
Yeah.
Well-educated woman.
Yeah.
And Todd Kulchar, Todd's here, I believe. There he is. Sitting
Todd's
over
here.
there, businessman in Yorkton
Yeah.
as well, involved in his community, as they all are. And I think that's a cornerstone of a lot of people who run for council. You got to be involved.
Well,
You have
Todd's
to be
also the
active,
chair of the Yorkton Business Improvement District.
That's right. YBIT.
Yeah,
How you
the
getting
YBIT.
along with, what's her name? Caitlin Kitsan. Isn't she top dog there now? Yeah. And I know you guys have got the Santa Claus parade coming up, and that's going to be happening soon, too. So always happening in Yorkton, lots and lots of good things. And, of course, you know, I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that he doesn't have his own chair with his name on it. Calvin Daniels is here. I mean, he's here all the time for council meetings, that there would be, you know, you see the plaques there, Randy Golden and Breers, and where's Calvin Daniels? Like, I don't get it. First order of business for council, let's get that
Probably etched
straightened
in
out.
there somewhere.
Somewhere.
We just don't know.
Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe just when you do that many, you sit where you want.
Yeah.
He gets first dibs.
I think so.
So we're waiting for the first round of votes to come in here. 8:10 is our time. Probably anticipating another 10 minutes. We have a big board over our left shoulder, which is going to put the numbers up, and hopefully counting is taking place. Again, they have to go through all the tabulations to make sure everything adds up in the proper way. So when you look at advanced polls, and you know, mail-in apparently was way down, and not surprising because last time was COVID.
Right.
A lot of people not mailing in. I'm going to go vote.
Yep.
And I waited till today because I was still looking at
Who?
some of the names
Yeah.
on there.
And you know, it's our responsibility too to go to them and have a chat with
Yeah.
them and see what their
What do you
their
think about
platform
this?
is.
You know, because we all have, you know, city's a little different in some aspects. You know, if you get to provincial, are you a young family? Are you a
Yeah.
student? Are you in retirement? There's certain things you want your provincial government. What are they offering me
Yeah.
at my time of life? You know, city a little different, certainly, but home ownership. We have to look at homelessness. That's something next council is going to have to address, and what direction you take there.
Yeah.
That's not an easy one because it again centers on root problems
Yeah.
and what you can do to help these people
Yeah.
turn their lives around. It's not just social
Moving them.
services or throwing money at
Right.
it and going, it's
Right.
going to solve the problem. That's
Yeah.
not going to work.
Yeah.
So some vision and creativity needed there, not certainly just at the level here in the city, but you know, provincially,
Provincially, and you
nationally.
know, and not even the level of the city of just council and the mayor. It's our duty as a community
Yeah, to help.
to
in many
come
ways.
together
Yeah.
and figure out resolution. Like, it's just, let's push them here. Well, then the same problem keeps happening, right? So like you said, Randy, things are about getting to the root of stuff.
So as we wait for our first results to come in, again, 4 councillors are looking for re-election here in Yorkton. Quinn Hayter, who had the most votes last election at 2426. Randy Golden, who is next at 2113. Darcy Zaharia had 1968. Chris Wyatt, not seeking re-election, had the 4th most votes at 1706. Ken Chiz, also not seeking re-election, 1683. And Dustin Breers, getting in 6th councillor, 1655. Cam Mailing 7th at 1584. Cam
Yeah.
not running. So Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Darcy Zaharia, Dustin Breers seeking re-election, as is Mitch Hipsley, who beat Aaron Keenley by 86 votes in 2020 in the run for mayor. Both had been councillors.
Wow. And you know how many
16.
people voted back then? Not even 4,000?
Yeah,
39?
3,976
Yeah.
out of almost 15,000. I'm astounded by
Me too.
that. I don't know what the proper, I'm not smart enough to articulate
And
that.
then, like you said, even before that, 4,819.
Yeah. went down in COVID year, which doesn't surprise me, but boy, still really, really low numbers. But as we pointed out earlier in talking to Jessica Matsala, who is down at the Flexi Hall, she's actually working a table. They set up another one. That's how busy they have been all day. I asked her if it's, oh yeah, real busy, real busy. The woman who's the greeter and comes to, when you walk in, and arm in a sling, you know, gutting it out, eh? You know, there's a gamer.
There's a gamer.
She's there from 8 in the morning till 9 tonight. It's going to be a 13-hour day for her, and many of them down there. I want to thank all of the volunteers who put in big time hours to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Be a part of the election process. Good on them.
Yeah.
But she was saying when I got there, I just wanted to see before I got here. I was there about 6:30, just to get a feel how busy it's been in the day. She was sitting down, and she goes, "It's the first time I've sat down since 9:30 this morning."
Wow.
Always up telling people which table to go to and whatever. And I thought, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. They did a great job there, because I know when I walked in, I just got streamed through exactly where I needed to
went
go.
well.
And,
Except you got your pollings, right? And a couple of them were at the other end of the Flexi Hall, and she was telling me, some people are getting a workout here. You know, they got to go a long way to vote.
I know.
You know,
a little bit of exercise. That didn't hurt anybody.
That's a good thing, too. So we see more and more of the candidates are trickling in here.
Yeah.
We are in council chambers. Last time we did the election, we were at the Gallagher Center, so I think it's a much easier setup for Access. They're here all the time.
Oh, it's
great. Doing council coverage, and kudos to them where you can see that and get a feel for what's going on at council.
Well, you know, talk about serving community. Access Now.
Absolutely.
The stuff they do here, like they demonstrate an unwavering commitment to the communities that we work in. And the money that goes back into the communities that they raise is unbelievable. So great cooperative in our community.
Works really well.
I have fun with them because I get to do interviews and I meet some of the most interesting people.
You know, way back when, Denise Barlow.
Yeah.
Remember Denise? She had a cooking show.
I know.
So me and Terry Struthers were on the cooking show. And it was near a Great Cup. And we were making Grandma Struthers' famous Great Cup stew. And so she's there, we're just joking around. And I put a ketchup packet in my hand. I was cutting a potato or something. Ow! And I squirted this ketchup. Oh, my word. I thought she was going to just panic and collapse. She thought I cut my thumb off. But it was just the fun you could have doing things back then. I go a long way back in radio, the fun we used to have.
Yeah.
And now I still do. Dennis Dick and The Rock and Jordan and I are able to just have a lot of fun. And that's what you should do. I mean, you know, part of what we do, and Ron knows it too, from Access is entertainment. And that's what we're trying to do for people. So
I think fun is one of your top values, Randy.
Well,
you know, like,
if you're not having fun, my daughter
why are you
keeps
doing
saying,
it?
no wonder you get along with your 3-year-old grandson. You act like a 4-year-old. And I'm like, well, that's why we're buddies, you know. That's why we connect.
And why wouldn't you be? That's what we're missing.
I know, yeah, hey. You're going to lose that part of it. You get old in a hurry. So I'm going to try and say this right this time, because I think I blew it last time, that, you know, in the 70s, you know, I was in my 20s. Now in the 20s, I'm in the 70s.
You're old.
See, older.
Older
there it is.
than me.
Older. Waiting for our first results. Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Darcy Zaharia, Dustin Breers looking for re-election as incumbents. Loretta Ritchie McInnes, Greg Litvani, Ron Irvin, Gurjeet Dhaliwal, Stephanie Ortinsky, and Todd Kulsar have their names up. Now, of course, 2 of them for sure, with the 2, Ken Chiz and Chris White not running. So we know we're going to have 2 new faces for sure. And, of course, Mitch Hipsley and Aaron Keenley running for mayor. And I see the mayor in the front row, pretty much where he always was in school, in the front row. Had to be in the front row. And the First Lady is here, Geraldine. It's nice to see you here tonight, too. As we wait for our results to come in, for the first time, 8:18 polls have been closed for 18 minutes. It'll be interesting to see what we find out, too. City Sandra Masters had a tough go in her first round as mayor with that council that got pretty fractured at times in Regina, and a lot of things went on. And I don't know if she pays the price for that or what the case may be, but 11 people running for mayor, which is an awful lot.
Yeah.
Awful lot. And then Saskatoon, Charlie Clark, who I thought did a pretty good job.
I thought so too.
But same thing.
Yeah.
It is, especially in a bigger city, really time-consuming job as mayor.
can't
And I think he
imagine.
wants to spend a little more time with family too. And you can understand that after a time.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like, what more? I think one of the things they're looking at in Saskatoon is that downtown arena, entertainment.
Right.
You know, what'll happen with that. That's
Bringing
a
it
big
downtown.
thing.
That is.
Regina's got a big thing with you know, the aquatic center and looking at building a big one. They haven't had a new pool built, I think, since the Schmerler.
In Regina.
Yeah, and that's like maybe late 90s.
Yeah.
So again, these things, well, pool because, you know, Mosaic Stadium, but these are high-ticket items.
Oh, big time.
Finding money, you're looking for partnerships, you're looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened when they got Taylor Field / Mosaic stepped up to be
Right.
the sponsor. Then the new stadium was like, I don't know what they pay for sponsorship, but it's a chunk of change.
Can imagine.
And you've got to have these
Yeah.
partnerships.
Yeah, Brant
It is the
Centers.
way to go. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
you got
all
it.
the time. And I think every community looks for it. You look for federal dollars all the time, different grants and,
Yeah.
and things, ways you can get money. So you always have to have people on top of that within the structure of your council and your civic government,
Right.
in this building here.
Like just
So-
look in town, our downtown park, you know,
Yeah.
sponsor at the arena, sponsors all over the place.
You know, I got from Irontown Manufacturing,
Yeah.
Alex,
Alex,
and they did the teepee.
yeah.
And I said, how did that go? He goes, pretty good considering, he said, it's not all flat, that's for sure. We had to do some stuff. Now, they got an engineer
Yeah.
came in, but they did the structure
Yeah.
and that. And he just does such exquisite work as an iron builder of these barbecue pits he does.
I know.
They're just works of
Yeah.
art. And I think he also did for Harvest Showdown. Their trophies were all made by him. Just look gorgeous. Eh?
Wow.
So, you know, some of the businesses, he's celebrating his 10th anniversary not long
Yeah.
that he's been around. And I think that's what something Yorkton's looking for too. When PAC moved to the liquor store, that's a hole now left downtown.
Yeah.
See a lot of those. How do you entice and get business? Is that where an economic development
Right.
officer would be a
Right.
key component to get some more businesses
Yeah.
here? Can you, and these are small businesses, and some of them only hire, like Alex at Irontown, five employees.
Wow.
These small businesses, some are small.
Yeah.
They do great business, do great work, but they're not like 30, 40, 50 people.
Right.
Yorkton Concrete, and talking to Nicole, at our height, 40. But when it's not, they're probably 25.
Yeah.
Right, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So these are the small businesses that are always looking for ways and means to get something from the city, something from the province.
Right.
You know, that can help
Yeah.
them in what they do.
Well, I know the facade grant. Like there's been a
Yes,
few businesses
city.
in Yorkton
Yeah, yeah.
with their signage and stuff. So just making our city look
Looks
better.
good.
You know, we redid the front of our building.
Yes.
On Broadway, the old
What did you get for
Coles
that? It's like
building.
10,000?
10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the project was 25 for us.
Right.
To do that, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just made that building beautiful.
But when you can get that done for 15,
Right.
when it would have been 25,
Yeah.
that's big. There's also, I know they're looking at lots, how they're going to do that, the 50% off the lots, in
Yeah.
an effort to try to spur some home building.
Well, yeah,
and-
and that
and-
which would be collecting taxes and the whole.
Yeah, the whole thing and
Yeah.
how that grows, but
Yeah.
there's no question when it comes to housing and where you're putting people in affordable housing. And,
Right.
you know, people talk now about, well, inflation is back down. Yeah, but a lot of people didn't get raises.
Right.
Even though it went up, salaries went up 5% in Canada. Well, a lot of people didn't get that.
No.
And the prices of food haven't come down the way inflation got back down to 2%. The prices still staying high, as they are with apartments or rentals or whatever.
Right.
So all of a sudden that stays high. Everything else is kind of coming down. Now it's helped people who've got lines of credit and things of that
Yeah.
nature
But
because it's a
still.
little less. But still, even at
But still.
3.75%, it was a lot more than 0.25
Isn't
that
it?
we were paying.
I know.
So all of a sudden everything costs more. Didn't see the price of gas coming down again. All these types
Mm-hmm.
of things. So, but again, a lot of that is centered on federal and provincial. people have talked about the new hospital in Yorkton. It's been
Right.
promised for 20 years. Well, the city isn't the one who pulls the trigger on this.
No.
You know, it could be support. They're going to have to raise some money. They're going to, you know, because in your community, you're going to have to do a lot of things. But, you know, it's the province. And now, you know, we had an MLA who was a minister of health.
Yeah.
And still
Right.
didn't get the ticket. Now,
Yeah.
oh, you're coming, you're next.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's been 20 years. And so I know a lot of people are disappointed by that. How are you going to staff it? Well, when you can build a new hospital, that helps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Doctors
And you know what,
and
though?
nurses don't mind coming to that.
Right, because it is about, just a new building isn't going to do it. It's going to take the attitude within.
Attitude, machines, what do
Bringing
you
the
do,
right
what are you
people.
offering? Yes.
Yeah.
Your human resources and
You
people
got
there,
it.
and having that just a great work atmosphere, and you know that.
Yeah.
And how you motivate people and how you treat people to get the best production and
Yeah.
effectiveness and efficiency
Right.
out of them. And, you know, happier they are, the more they're going to do for you.
Well, Randy, my favorite saying is, a business or a community, everything is only as healthy as the people in it.
And how they treat each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember in radio, is running a newsroom, and a young person, maybe in their first year, and I'd come up and I'd just, you know, pat them on the shoulder and say, good job on that story, and walk away.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Meant
You
a lot
made
to
it-
them.
you made their
Meant a lot
day.
to them all of a sudden. It's just like, as opposed to saying nothing.
Yeah. That's why these are so much
saying.
fun. You just go for a
Your
walk.
little cards,
You just go for a walk downtown,
Yeah.
and you just hand them out.
okay? Look
So
at that.
there's one for you for today,
Look at
for
that.
tonight.
Perseverance. Boy, well, I got some of that. It's going to lead to great achievements. Did they know I'm 70? Huh? I think
It
my
doesn't-
greatest achievements are behind me. Hall of Fame, 2 kids,
Oh, yeah.
grandkid. Yeah, I think it's all behind
I
me
remember
now.
the Hall of Fame. Your
That was
speech
fun
there
night
at the
because
end.
your
My
dad
father,
too.
what's it called?
Got,
Posthumously.
posthumously.
Posthumously. That was an honor.
Yeah. Boy,
Yeah.
your dad was, we had a
Yeah.
lot of fun with him in that slow pitch, boy.
You know,
boy,
to
boy,
this day,
boy,
people
boy.
are going, Larry Renton, we loved him. Like, I get so many stories
Well,
about
and
things
a
I
big
didn't
part
even
of the
know.
diamonds out at York Lake was him.
Yep, yep.
Getting all that going, and at the time that he was there at its height, oh, I don't know, there might have been 80, 90 teams
Yeah,
playing.
I know.
And he was a big part of that, so.
Do you know, when
it
we
was
were,
fun
I was
times.
13 years old, he called us to the basement in our house on Collingwood, and he goes, look at this, and he shows us a big piece of paper, Randy.
Oh, there it is.
And there's nothing on it. And it's bush, and it's whatever. And
really?
then he brings
His
out another.
vision.
His vision. And then
Yes.
he brings out these ball diamonds, and we're going, at 13, I'm going, oh, what to do?
What does it mean? Well,
But
yeah,
now
I'm gonna
that
go out and
I
play.
know
Yeah, yeah.
my vision,
Yeah,
holy.
but see, and that's what we've talked about here with council and people getting and having a
Yeah,
vision
yeah.
of what they want to see with York
Yeah.
and
Together.
go to. Yeah, oh, you
Yeah.
got to work
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And I know I've been on committees and boards and different things, and it was always, I had pretty good leadership on those.
Yeah.
And they would talk about, you know, you come up with ideas, and don't be disappointed if your idea doesn't make it.
Right.
You know, just we're all together on this,
Yeah.
and when we leave the room, we're unified and go do what we
Yeah.
need to do, and that's important stuff.
Yeah.
It really
Well, that's
is.
leader.
It's
That's
important
true
stuff.
leadership.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. And you know, just to honor all these people that put their names in,
Yeah,
to do what they're going to do and take the time that they're going to take away from their personal lives to step into the community and give back. Wow.
you know, I've been acknowledging those here, and Greg
There's-
Lisvani
Yeah.
is in.
Yeah.
I see the Dolly Walls are here.
Yeah.
Hey, and there's Good
Hey.
Jeet. Yeah, he's shown up here tonight. Ron Irvin is here as well. Access
Dustin.
Now TV. You know, I had to find out what are, you know, is it still communication 7 now? And the great work they do in the community, no question about
AccessNow
it. Yeah, they're
TV.
everywhere, Jay.
Awesome.
You know, I remember way back, Dina Armbruster, I think was her name. And I used to go out with her and Myra Lawrence, doing the Halloween thing with kids and
Myra
videotaping
Lawrence.
them. Yeah,
Oh my
it was just great
gosh.
fun. The
Oh.
stuff that we did back then. Kind of working together, like you want council to, right?
Yep.
Helping out with TV.
wanna all
and
work
radio
together.
and all that sort of stuff. So we're almost a half hour into this, and I guess I got a little ahead of myself, hoping we'd have results in 15 or 20 minutes. Apparently not. One can only hope that the tabulations for who voted, who registered, the cross-reference is working well.
Yeah.
That they're able to add it up, and in the event it doesn't, that's going to hold us up a bit because they got to make that work before they can start counting. So hopefully that all adds up
Yeah.
properly. we should get some results, we're hoping, soon here.
Well, people are probably
waiting.
sitting on the edge, and all the people,
Well,
people that
they
are here.
want to, you know, I know when I ran provincially, it was over quick for me.
Yeah.
It was, you know, and there was only about 550 votes in, and I was down 70, and I went, I'd lost.
Oh,
You
did
just,
you?
oh yeah,
You just knew?
you knew, at a provincial level,
Yeah.
following it, and you kind of know. Here it's different. You're that far down, here you're out.
You're out,
But
yeah, yeah.
there's going to be, I think, some real close numbers when we get these initial votes. Again, the first three we get, 1, 2, and 3, will all come from the voting that was done today at the Flexi Hall at the Gallagher Center. After you voted, you went up to one of those 3 machines, and the returning officer takes it, put it in. What happened then is it slid in the automatic voter. There was a scanner, and it would scan it, and then it would tell you, beep, it's been accepted.
Yeah, on
so
what number
it was
you were.
voted. Yep.
Yeah.
And I imagine if you voted for too many people or did something wrong, it would say that. It would be a rejected ballot.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was a matter of, you didn't go to 1, 2, or 3 because that's where you're supposed to go to 1, 2. If you just went to one that was open. And so now they'll probably count them that way. 1 will be first counted and 2
Yeah.
second, 3, but all 3 of those are at the Flexi Hall. And I think number 4 is probably there too, but that's going to be advanced ballots and everything else.
And all,
that's gonna
everything
take
else,
place.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
as we wait to get some numbers here at 8:30, I'm going to see if I can join the Wi-Fi network, because nothing worse than staring at a laptop that doesn't show anything except join Wi-Fi network. So we'll get that going, and hopefully we'll get some numbers from other communities, specifically Regina and Saskatoon. Some of the other towns and that, it could be difficult to get those, but we'll run through some of those again too. Our local area communities, there have been some mayors acclaimed and some councillors as well, and it's big for their communities
Big time.
as well. It doesn't matter how big or small your community is. You know, it's interesting, I talked to some people from Kenora who go, you know, we have to come to the realization that, you know, we're a bedroom community
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of businesses. You got to go to Yorkton to shop. But
Yeah.
we got lakes, rivers, golf course,
Right.
brand new pool, looking for a brand new convention center rink. This is what families want. They're okay to live in a Kenora and drive to Yorkton to work.
Oh.
Many do, to get to LDC and
Exactly.
all the work.
I drive from Burgess every day.
subcontractors. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
No.
And same thing, a lot of them may even work at railroad in Melville, which is an hour.
Yeah.
But that's okay, providing you have amenities that
Right.
families
Within
want.
your community.
Yeah.
You know, often there's times like at Burgess Beach, you're not far, right? And it's like you want to keep the grocery stores going. You want those guys to stay in those small communities.
Yeah.
But I interviewed the economic development girl there. Oh my goodness, what a little spitfire she is.
Yeah.
And there's lots happening in that community. Like
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
signs, talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the signs, right?
Yeah.
He did those
Big
signs
thing.
there as well.
Oh, yeah, he did, from Irontown.
They're beautiful.
He's all over the place.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the way they light up, and my daughter said, she's got one of the fire pits.
Yeah.
She goes, we put Atkinson on one side, Shelavello on the other.
Oh.
And what that was the name on it, and then they wanted 4 bears because 2 bears, the parents.
Oh.
And then the baby bear is Brooks, and now another baby coming in
Oh.
January for
Oh.
the other baby.
No
so
way.
And she goes, but Dad, when the fire's going, it lights it all up. It looks so cool.
Isn't
And that's what they
it?
design,
They
and
do
different
that
things.
kind of
Yeah.
work.
And if you notice some of the businesses they've been at night, I think Pack is one of them.
Yeah.
Lights up from behind.
Yeah.
Now he goes, we don't do that. That's electricians.
They did, yeah.
But you know, it'll light it up, and it just looks
They
gorgeous.
still build a sign to be able to accept
and put
that
it in
and see
place
that.
and everything else and get it ready. Yeah, absolutely. So again, small business,
Yeah.
and what you've got in, you know. But you take a look at Kenora, and they used to have a car dealership. In fact, back in the day,
Right.
Nestor Ortinsky, because
Yeah.
that's where the Ortinsky
Yeah.
stuff. He said at one time there were 3 car dealerships
I know.
in Kenora. Like, it's
that
unbelievable.
unreal?
And how things change.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Lund Hostel's still chugging
does.
along.
It does.
No? Yeah,
The
it's still
lawn
going.
and the Grandora.
Oh, and the Grand
Both
Door's
of them.
still there,
They're
see?
both going,
So
yeah.
there's still things in Kenora, and they're gonna have a great time in January. We already know they've got hockey in
Mm-hmm.
Saskatchewan for a week. Marty McSorley's gonna be there for their celebrity dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And Don Chesney, who goes to all these things,
Mm-hmm.
and there. So it's gonna be fun. They're gonna raise a lot of money there. On the Saturday, they have the AAA Rebel girls team, the Maulers AAA team, and
Wow.
the Terriers, all playing a game in Kenora on Saturday, all part of hockey in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
So it's a big event,
Yeah.
and they have a chance to raise some money. They'll get some money from Hockey Saskatchewan, and Hockey Canada
Mm-hmm.
is being selected as that community. So what a great start for them
Yeah.
on their next major project. Aaron Harriges is their not an EDO, but
Right.
rec director,
Rec
whatever.
director, yeah,
But he's
yeah.
so heavily involved in getting them what he did at the Ball Diamonds
Yeah.
and helped them get the pool going, and now working on this.
Right.
So nice little community. It's a nice pool too. I've been there. It's really
It
nice.
is
It's
very
really
nice.
nice. They did a heck of
It's
a job.
very nice.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a break here, and I guess you'll be looking at the unofficial election results, of which we have none. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Not yet.
Welcome back to our coverage here on AccessNow TV 2024 Yorkton Votes Municipal Election. We had hoped to have results by now, but here we are 45 minutes since the polls closed and still nothing to report, but I'm sure something will come real soon. Lots of votes to count the way we had talked earlier down at the Flexi Hall. Real busy today. So that's a good sign.
And 15,000 voters
Eligible. Can vote.
Right.
Yeah. And I want to give kudos to you. Talk about a lot of the people who live in the city, immigrants who were here, and there was 3 of them walking in front of me from the Philippines. And they kind of stopped at the sign, not sure which way to turn. I said, you got to go this way, you're voting. Yeah. I said, is your first time voting in the municipal election? She looked at her husband and went, when did we become Canadian citizens? And he goes, no, this is our first one. And then I just went, good for you to be a part of this process when, you know, we've seen 26% turnout from residents, and here these people are coming from a country where they know the right and the privilege and the honor to vote and exercise that. And 2 days ago was Remembrance Day and the fight for freedom, and how many people made the ultimate sacrifice, the men and women who serve and for this. So we have opportunities to do this. So we should never complain that, yeah, it's too many elections in a short period of time. Places, but I mean, you can easily get a hold of them, that's for sure. Want to remind you, in the public school, 3 acclaimed, all 3 that are on the public are acclaimed. 2 of them are returning, Jan Morrison and Steve Varian. Gord Gender didn't seek to be on the public board again this year. Kara McCourt is. On the Catholic side, Jerome Nisgoda. Jerome was on the Catholic board last time, and 2 newcomers, well known in the city, Jerry Kabelka and Fred Schrader. So welcoming them to the Catholic and public boards. We touched on some of it, and while we've got some time, I want to run through a few of these, and that is local areas who have elections tonight. To Balcarres, Mayor Kent Esplin has been acclaimed, as has the 6 councillors. Michael Quaz does a great job in Kenora, acclaimed as mayor, 13 running for 6 council positions. The great Walter Strelaski, not seeking re-election in Melville, longtime mayor, did a lot of great things for the Rail City. Not running, Kenneth Cherney, Maria Cole Gale, and Joe Kerwin are running for mayor. 6 councillors, all have been acclaimed. Beth Dix and Shelley Philipchuk running for mayor in Kamsack, 8 running for 6 council positions. Springside reduced their council from 6 to 4. Now they've got 6 candidates running for those 4 positions. Mayor Debbie Banks has been acclaimed. Priestville, 3 running for mayor, Darren Newton, Michael Dugan, and Dale Schur, 11 running for 6 council positions. In Sturgis, Dean Harris and Randy Somerville running for mayor, 11 up for 6 council positions. Saltcoats, Mayor Kirby Baczynski, acclaimed. 5 of 6 council positions have been acclaimed, so they need 1 more to fill council. In Langenburg, Mayor Jeremy Stasiak, young family, not going to be the mayor, but he is running as a councillor, 9 running for 6 council positions. Esther Hazy running for mayor, Randy Bott and Grant Forster, 9 running for 6 council positions. Foam Lake, a long-time resident, Shelley Thone Tchaikovsky. Boy, she has been involved in that community a big way for a long time as mayor. 9 running for council positions there. And in Fort Capel, Lavinia Henderson up against Brian Strong. That is for mayor. 10 running for council. Regina, Sandra Masters looking for re-election. She beat out Michael Forget in 2020 to become mayor. 11 candidates are running for mayor in Regina. And Charlie Clark not seeking re-election in Saskatoon. 5 running for mayor, including Don Atchison, who's run before, and Gordon Wyatt, Saskatchewan Party MLA for a long time, and former minister in that government as well, is running to become the mayor of Saskatoon. So just a small part of what's going on in the communities in and around the areas. Of course, this election here held very similar to 2020, close to the provincial election.
Yeah.
I think we asked for more separation, and provincial government didn't really give it to us. Just went ahead of us, and this one following up, but that's fine.
It's okay.
And we're now at 8:50 and still waiting for our first round of votes to come in here tonight. So I'm not sure if this is a hold up. I was told it would be a lot sooner than this, but again, having to take the votes that are counted and correlate that and match it up with when you filled out your sheet, your name and that, and make sure everything balances out. And if it doesn't, I don't know what they do. Go in and have a look. You know, Deloitte Touche gets called in or something, and have
Then
to
it's
figure
way
this
past
out.
your bedtime.
Oh yeah, it'll be a late night. I'll go straight from here to work. Done that before in radio though too, so that won't be a first.
I bet.
Mitch Hipsley, Aaron Keenley, running for mayor in Yorkton, same as 2020, as we pointed out. Hipsley won that one by 86 votes. Both had come out as being councillors to run for the mayor's job when Bob Maloney
Right.
said he wasn't running. Again, Bob stepped down. And then Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Darcy Zahari, Dustin Breers, the four incumbents looking for re-election. So we know two new faces for sure. Loretta Ritchie McInnes, Greg Litvani, Ron Urban, Gurjeet Dhaliwal, Stephanie Ortinsky, and Todd Culture, all looking for a seat on council here tonight. So hopefully we're going to be able to give the initial. I would imagine once we get the initial vote from one, it won't take long to do the others, I hope.
No.
We know that the fourth round of votes, though, are going to be from you know, the mail-in ballots, advanced polls, so you know, with early voting, and they don't get counted until all of the ones at the Gallagher Center get counted first. So that's the procedure that's going on. But right now we're still waiting to see when we're going to get our first round of votes here tonight. And you know, I think everybody kind of waiting to see what happens in the event that we do see more people coming out this time than the 3,976 in 2020. What that will translate to, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, more people voting. We don't know. It certainly looked like it, that the turnout better than what we've seen previously. I don't know what that means. I'm not very good at predicting elections, although I did pretty good in the provincial one. I said the Sask Party went 35. I think they won 34.
Oh.
So I did okay there, but I was a little kind to the third parties and gave them 3 seats, and they didn't get any. And then I also said that Kamala Harris would win a squeaker against the Donald, and that didn't happen. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh. Are we in for 4 years of who knows what, right?
Oh, boy.
You're fired.
Oh.
So there'll be a lot of that going on. So anyhow, and already they're dumping on Trudeau, but we've been doing that in this country too, so it's not like this is new.
Exactly.
And of course, the federal election could be called in any time if they and a confidence vote in that, but I don't know that it's going to happen. There's a lot of stuff that goes on federally that you just kind of shake your head at. Why they do what they do, and to cling on to what's going on in this minority government. So, you know, I think for a lot of people, they want change. And, you know, we saw that in, you know, what's happened with a couple of the by-elections federally, the change there. We saw the Conservatives, who had really no presence in BC, almost win that election.
Right.
Big change there. So we'll see what that does provincially with any other elections. And of course, out in Atlantic Canada, the Tories lost government in one of the provinces out there, and the Liberals got back in. So you know, it's a funny thing how it works provincially, and sometimes you don't want to be associated or near the federal party, you know, and sometimes you do. And so it'll be interesting, everything that comes about at that level. But here, of course, this is all individual, as it is throughout the entire province. So a lot of voting going on tonight. The polls closed across the province at 8 o'clock. And you know, I don't know, when I was younger, and you'd watch the federal or provincial election, it seemed like within an hour, you pretty much had a good idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Now within an hour, we haven't got anything. Well, we got all this high-tech counting and computers and everything.
And we don't have anything.
You know, it's like Doppler 4 weather, great forecasting, and they still can't get it right. And it's like, what is going on? So, you know, but then when it comes to working these machines, I'm not really that good at it. So,
you know, and then another thing too is just another big thanks to all of those that put their names forward to make a difference in this community and to lead us into what the future is going to look like.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, in public service.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. You know, as fast as you say something on here, I got a picture of Trump going, "You're fired." Here we go. First round of voting is coming in, and Aaron Keenley has stepped with 517 votes. Mitch Hipsley, now this is machine number 3.
That's 3.
I don't really know what that will mean, but Keenley 517, Hipsley 278. Similar to what we saw in 2020. Aaron Keenley, I believe, led in the first 3. And then that advanced mobile, homebound mail-in, you can see machine 4. They don't get counted to everything else. Here we go. Quinn Hayter and Stephanie Ortinsky with 536. Right behind Dustin Breers, 535. Greg Ledvani, 450. Darcy Zaharia, 444. Randy Golden, 432. Loretto Richie McInnes, 363. Todd Culture, 283. Gurjeet Dhaliwal, 278. Ron Irvin at 255. What do you think about what you're looking at right now? Lori, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. That's only machine number 3.
That's right.
You know, so who knows what's going to show up in 2 and 1, and then 4, of course.
So we can see with Dustin Breers. Dustin last time got in 6th, and there he is in machine 3, just a vote out of being tied. But boy, we talked about some ties and whatever. This is 13%, 536 vote. Quinn Hayter, he won last time in the election here with the most votes, and he had 2,426. So we get 536 there. Now I don't know if the other machines will be a boost in numbers. Not sure how many votes actually came out of that particular machine as well. Does he have 536? And there's of course your school board in that. They are all acclaimed. Carol McCourt, Jan Morrison as well. But here we go straight back to what you can see in Mayor in the first round. 517, Aaron Keenley, 278 for Mitch Hipsley. So that's the first round that we're seeing votes coming through, and that is roughly at about 856 that we got our first line. So total 795 votes there. That is for the mayor. So if that's also what we've got as far as the councilors are concerned too, then we would see Hayter with 536 out of 795, I guess. So, which is a pretty good number. But again, you could vote up to 6 councilors, not more than 6. But you didn't have to vote for 6 either. You could vote lower than that if you wanted to. Greg Ledvani, running for the first time, 450 votes. That's a nice start for him. Darcy Zaharia, 444, incumbent, looking to get back. Randy Golden at 432, so she is right there too. And then a drop-off of like 69 votes from Randy Golden to Loretta McInnes, Richie McInnes. So that's a big drop from 6th to 7th. That's a lot of ground to make up in the next 3 ballots that we'll have. Todd Culture with 283, and then we've got Gurjeet Dhaliwal at 278. Ron Irvin is sitting with 255. So again, there's the first round of the votes. You'll see that on the screen. They're going to continue to put this on a rotation, so you'll have an opportunity to see it till we get our second round of votes. That is out of machine number 3. Again, all 3 machines, 1, 2, and 3, were at the Flexi Hall to Gallagher Center. So this is the first of the 3 to be counted. It's not like they were set up for, you know, the A to J's vote in one and the K's to whatever. It was a matter of which one was open. That's the one you go to. So there's just 3 machines there that'll be counted. Now, after that is going to be your mail-in and everything else. So we could be here a while yet because we're at 9 o'clock. Polls have been closed for an hour and just got our first results in. And we can see that the whoever's doing the lighting needs to take a course.
Well, it's
a little bright. Oh, there we go. Thank you.
way better mood.
Better now. Better now. So there we go in our first round. Mitch Hipsley's got a little ground to make up on Aaron Keenley. It'll be interesting to see in the next 2
Again,
rounds
it's
of
only
voting
one.
what happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's early.
Yeah.
It's very early. And like I said, Mitch was down after the 3 rounds last time, and then came with the advanced mobile, homebound, and mail-in to surpass Aaron Keenley. Stephanie Ortinsky, 536. Stephanie, of course, the Ortinsky name, well known in the city. Bright young woman, has been all over the world doing things, and there she is with 536 votes. So that's a real big start for her. Yeah. Dustin Breer's not a surprise that he's doing well with 535. Litvani. So you're seeing right now the 4 incumbents in position, and the 2 new faces in the first round of balloting, Stephanie Ortinsky and Greg Litvani, and the other 4 at the bottom got some work to do. 536 votes out of, I think they had 795 is what they put up. So to get that, again, Quinn Hayter, you know, he's got that Catholic vote, but I think Stephanie Ortinsky, being a Catholic, may have taken a few from him. So you never know how that all plays out. And everything else, people going, and it's a matter of those that are on council have that recognition of having done some things, and it's a matter of people voting, are they happy with what they've seen? And if not, usually new faces take over. So again, we're going to have to wait to see what the totals are going to be. If it's 795 now, we had 3,976 vote last time, which would mean we're, could be another 3,200 votes coming in just to equal what we did in 2020.
Right.
So if it's busier, well, then we'll see if that plays out as well. But that's our first round of voting here in Yorkton for the municipal election, and a lot of them are here in council chambers. And we want to point out as well that the new council will have new chairs. I understand, because we were sitting in them going, oh my goodness, how do you even do anything? So we went for the fold-ups. We took the big ones out and got some fold-up chairs here. But they're long meetings.
They're long meetings.
You want to be comfortable.
Exactly.
That's an important thing.
And we've only got, what, 3 hours here?
When is the swearing in and first council meeting, by the way?
Friday.
Well, it can't be this month. Oh, it is. Oh, is that right? Oh, wow. Okay. Boy, geez, go running. Okay. Hit the ground running. Boy, I like that. That's a good thing to get going here. First order of business, we want to see a plaque for Calvin on a chair.
There
he
you
has
go.
his own chair when he's covering council, I think would be an important thing. You know, he's only been covering it since, how long have we had a council? So there you go on the big board. If you're looking up, I don't think they're on it right now at the cameras, but we've had our first round of voting going on, so it's simply a matter of waiting to see what will come here for round number 2. And I don't know, your thoughts
And
at,
it's
at what you see.
9:04. Yeah, like I said, there's 3 more to go.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
Well,
This
it'll
is
be
only
interesting
one.
to see the second one if it trends
Yeah.
similar to what we've just seen
What is it?
or if we've seen some bounce, you know, from others. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
It's hard to say. You've done this before.
Well, and we saw some different things happen in 2020.
Yeah.
The one thing is you know, in the 2020, and of course that was COVID, and a lot of people, I like going out and, you know, advance voting. I kind of like voting on election day.
Yeah.
Because it's busier, and you see people.
You see
You
people.
know, and hi, how are you, and haven't been. I talked to Jay Boyd. I hadn't seen Jay Boyd in a long time. And we had some good stories that we were telling each other, and a bunch of other people too that I had a chance to see. So it's always great.
It seemed like
for that
anybody
sort
I
of
saw
thing.
today was
Yeah.
happy. Like they
Yeah,
were
they're in a
just
good mood
happy.
voting too. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
For what I saw.
Yeah. And again,
Here we
like you
go.
said, what-
Second round, Aaron Keenley holding here on number 2 with 407, 233 for Mitch Hipsley. So the trend for Keenley continuing in the early going. And here we go, Stephanie Ortinsky bunching up with 462.
Wow.
Quinn Hayter 450. Dustin Breers 418. Greg Litvani still doing well, 350. Randy Golden up to 364. Darcy Zaharia 343. And again, then it's a wide difference in falling to Loretta Ritchie McInnes 298, Culture 248, Gurjeet Dhaliwal 226, Ron Irvin 211. So the separation between 6 and 7 is pretty big right now. But two of them, Stephanie Ortinsky, 13.8% at 998 votes. Quinn Hayter 986, Breers 953. Greg Litvani doing well at 800. 796 for Randy Golden, Darcy Zaharia 788, and that's a 126 vote difference between Darcy in 6th and Loretta Ritchie McInnes in 7th. And that'll be some big ground to make up. Be pretty tough with 116, I think, 126, pardon me, the difference between the two. And you can see that she'd have to do a big bounce here at some point. But Ortinsky doing well, Litvani doing well. Two new faces, of course, coming up on council, the 4 incumbents in position. Your thoughts after 2 rounds?
Oh, 2 more rounds to go.
2 more to go, but 924
Yeah, 9.
for Aaron Keenley and Mitch Hipsley at 511.
11. Yeah.
Mitch is going to need a big bounce in the next 2 here. Trailing by, 413 votes. That's a big margin after 2 rounds of voting. 1,435 is the amount they have there for them. I'm hoping that would be the total. And again, to reach 3,900, we would have to get some pretty big numbers here in the next 2 as well. So that's where we sit with the mayoralty race. And there you have a look at council. So with Ortinsky at 998 out of 1435, she's got 13.34. Quinn Hayter, solid position. Second, Breers doing really well. And then a drop-off of 153, but still solidly in 4th, Greg Litvani. Randy Golden, 796. Darcy Zaharia, 787. It was Ortinsky with the most votes here after tying Hayter in the first one. They went from machine 3 to machine 2. Breers dropped off, Litvani. So did Golden, so did Darcy, because there were not as many votes. Everybody kind of dropping off except, no, all of them did. Dropping off, some just not as much. But you could see the total votes on the left side by the names, and also the percentage of votes that we've got here halfway through as far as the machines are concerned. So our first 2, and we were right that after the first one came, we got the second one shortly after. And excuse me, what are your thoughts about what's happening here right now?
We're seeing that all the new people, like a few of the new people there, they've got some decent votes, but.
Well, it's interesting on Stephanie
yeah.
Ortinsky, a lot of people, well, they
Yeah.
know the Ortinsky
Yeah.
name, but not Stephanie.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with it, is like.
Name recognition
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
She's got a background, and if people did some research and found out some of what and who she is, and talk to her. I talked to all the candidates after the forum. I know, didn't really know her, but everybody else, and kind of had a good feel for them. But again, if people took the time to find out about it, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Just Google a name and something's going to come up.
Yeah.
And you'll find out about them and what they're about. But it'll be interesting if this holds. It'll be a second woman on council as well,
Right.
besides Randy, with Stephanie joining her. Loretta Ritchie McInnes is sitting in 7th, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
She was in the
7th.
top 10 and was hoping to crack into that top 6, but she's got some serious ground to make up here right now. So you can see the totals that are out there right now, and that's after 2 rounds of voting in. We are 71 minutes since the polls have closed, so kind of an indicator. I think if what we're seeing is trending in this area in this way, unless there's a big change. There could be a change in the mayoral seat and 2 new faces and 4 incumbents remaining on council. It's early still. We've got lots more to count. But again, if the trends continue as what we're seeing, it's going to be tough for those other ones. Mayor Hipsley to come back in 1 machine vote, and also Richie McInnes to bounce from 7 to get into that top 6 will be pretty tough if the trend continues for machine number 1, which should come pretty soon, we hope, to get those votes too. So, I don't know what is considered a surprise or, would be, I guess, you've got 2 guys who ran for mayor, both were councilors, ran at 2020. It's a close vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, same 2 guys running here, and there's some separation, no question, between the 2 of them here right now after the first 2 rounds. So, Aaron Keenley came in late as far as announcing he was going to run.
Right.
But it was a matter, too, and we had talked about how you campaign, and door knocking may be a thing not as predominant, especially the civic election, maybe more so provincial, federally, but it's social media. It's
Social
getting
media,
those sound bites and those little videos out there, and you get likes, you get shares, you get views, and that's, where people kind of get to know you a little bit in that regard if they don't, and see you as opposed to on the door. In fact, the door knocking, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of walking. It's a lot going to house where you can slap it on Facebook and wow, get 1,000 views
and run
whatever.
Facebook ads.
Yeah, Facebook ads and all the things you can do. So I think campaigning has changed in what you can use, and certainly social media as well. Within the city, your involvement, I think, is important. To be on committees, to be involved in your community.
Definitely.
As a volunteer specifically. And we see, the people here, all of them are involved in some capacity and have been. So that's important too, because people recognize that, they're involved and they see it.
And then, like we said, if you're not running for council, get on committees. Make a difference in other ways, right?
Yeah, and there's lots of ways to do it.
Yeah.
There's social or service clubs, Kinsman Lines, Rotary, all these things that, you can give back to. But a lot of committees in the city, I don't know how many, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I know some of the councilors, I think a councilor might be on each one, but a lot of it is volunteer. And people coming forward to sit on committees. And that's a starting point for people. So we encourage young people, if they're thinking anything and have established themselves in Yorkton, maybe working at one of the crushing plants, doing well. They're both working parents, they got a young family, and thinking about contributing back to their community possibly down the line as a councillor or running for mayor, that you would be involved in these committees and get a feel and
Ahead
an
of time,
understanding.
right.
Yeah.
Ahead of time.
And understand what it takes, and that might draw some people to it, may scare some people off, but at least you're involved and you know what's happening. And there's, I think when you look at the Gallagher Center, to sit on that committee, it's a big thing. There's lots going on out there. I was looking to do different things, build different things, put money into it, and a lot of times you don't see it. You need noise plants, you need an air conditioner, all of these things. It was just, so the city, I think they replaced a boiler for, $800,000.
Right.
And it was like, had to be done. You're down to the last one, and if it goes, trouble. So here we go.
Infrastructure.
As we go here, Dustin Breers, 606 on machine 1. Wertinsky and Hayter, 572. Golden, 494. Zaharia, 488. Lidvani, 486. And these are the people who likely are going to be your councillors. Stephanie, 1570. Breers right behind, 1559. Quinn Hayter, 1558. Then a drop off of, more than 200, 250. Randy Golden, 1290. Lidvani, 1286. Zaharia, 1275. And then you're down about 180 to Loretta Ritchie McInnes. That's tough to make that up. I don't think you can when you look at the votes that have happened. But there looks like more voting coming out of machine 1 too. More votes. Everybody bumped their totals up. But if you're trying to move up, it's hard when everybody went up.
Everybody's going up,
so it's pretty tough that way. But you can see, right now, as you see on the board, it's
wow.
2 new faces were coming on board, and it certainly looks like it's going to be Stephanie Wertinsky and Greg Lidvani right now.
Yep.
And now we're not sure how long this last one will take. This is at 9:17, so again, could be a bit before we get the final ones counted. I don't know if that's a hand count or what it is, but Aaron Keenly sitting at 1508 for mayor, and Mitch Hipsley, 808. That's 700 votes. That's a big number to have to overcome out of 2,316. At least that's the total votes there. I'm not sure how many people have actually voted on it.
Right.
Some people maybe don't put down for mayor. I'm not sure how that works out, how people vote. You don't have to vote. You can vote for, I guess, one person on council, and that would be it. It would still be a valid ballot. But you would think that the majority are also voting for mayor. And Aaron Keenly at 1508. And there's your councillor positions right now. And right off the bat, we saw Hayter, Wertinsky, and Breers take the lead, and they've held that. So the trend has continued for them. And then we've seen Golden, Lidvani, and Zaharia, that second group in the 400s, and now they're all in the 1200s and in solid spot 2 ahead of Loretta Ritchie McInnes, the only one really has a chance, but right now she's like 180 back, and boy, oh boy,
that's quite a bit.
It's a big number, considering how the trends are going right now, that Darcy's still going to get a lot of votes here on the 4th machine too to stay ahead.
Right.
So it's not as close as maybe a lot of people maybe had anticipated that it would be, maybe 8 councillors would have a chance. We saw that last election, that it was, Cam Mailing finished 71 votes behind Dustin Breers for a council position. Well, that's not going to happen here tonight. And Doug Forster was a couple hundred back, and Loretta now 180, and one more to go. So it wasn't really all that close. I guess Cam Mailing really the only one that had a chance to take a council position, but Breers got that. And then of course the vote for mayor. If we look at it now, last election in 2020, Mitch Hipsley got 2,000 votes. Aaron Keenly got 1914. So Now it's 1508 to 807, so that's 2,315 votes. 3,900 last time, so
Right.
we'll see if that last. Now the advanced mobile,
Machine.
homebound and mail-in could be big totals.
Yeah.
That's possible. It's just a matter of who they are and obviously who they voted for. So
Yeah, because a lot of people I talked to did advance.
yeah. Where does
that
mobile
could-
go? Hospital.
Yeah.
Can come to my place. Homebound. Well, that could be home care.
Yeah.
Advanced polls. Well, I know where those are.
Yeah.
And of course your mail-in. And a lot of people still do that. You get it in the mail, vote, pop it
Yeah.
in, mail it and be done with
I'd
it,
be
right?
curious to see how many do that.
Yeah, well, I won't be as many they felt because of COVID. There was a lot more.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but still, it should be a pretty good number. But the way it's breaking down now, as far as total ballots are concerned, 3,976 in 2020, 4,819 in 2016. So it dropped off by, almost like 900 votes, 850 votes. And I don't know, 15,000 people roughly eligible. They take that from Sask Health cards, and that's your eligibility of voters, or those could do it. So, and then some others who maybe, if they haven't registered that way, still can
Yeah.
and vote if they meet a certain criteria of how long
Yeah.
they've lived here and all that
Yeah.
sort of thing too. So, but way we sit right now, with one more round to go, and we're at 9:21, so the last three have come in about the last 23 or 24 minutes. But we experienced that in 2020 as well. We got once the first three came, it was real quick. It was the fourth one that took a long, long time. So we're going to wait and see how that all plays out tonight. But again, it's difficult to say. You never really know when people are voting and what they're going to do, why they voted. When you look at this one right here with Aaron Keenley, got in late, and sitting with a 700 vote lead right now, almost double what Mitch Hipsley has gotten. So that's a big change.
Yeah.
If that happens here tonight, he's got to make up more votes than, you take a look, 795 in machine 3, 640 in machine 2, and like 900 roughly in machine 1, and he's got to make up 700 of that. So he's going to need a big bounce. Now he got it last time. Didn't need that big a bounce though, but he got it in machine 4 last time to become mayor. He was trailing and then won by 86 votes. So, Greg Ledvany, longtime Yorktonite businessman, firefighter, well known. And Stephanie Ortinsky could be the big surprise. Certainly the name is known, but not her as much. But here she is with the most votes right now, 1570. So
Like, wow.
yeah, I mean that would be a surprise, I'm sure, for some people. Maybe not so much she's in top 6, but that she's top
Right
vote
at the
getter.
top.
Darcy in there, well, Randy Golden, again, of course, long time
Yeah.
counselor. Darcy, how many terms you been in? 2? Yeah, looking for his 3rd. And Randy's got more than that. Quinn,
Yeah.
same sort of thing, I think his 3rd term
Yeah.
as well. Dustin's 2nd term, I believe, as a
Yeah.
counselor.
Yeah.
That he's looking for. And Stephanie and Greg would be, would be rookie counselors if it plays out the way it is, and we anticipate it likely will. Just by what we've seen and the trends more than anything of what has come up, and we've seen it pretty much be the same from the first one in number 3, 2, and then down to 1 as well. So waiting for the last one to come in. Is this the mayor result I think we've got in Saskatoon? No, this is Regina.
This is Regina.
Chad Baczynski's got 8,897 votes.
And then
Lori Bresciani, 6,954. Incumbent Sandra Masters, 6,522. Then falls off big time to Bill Pratt. So Chad Bashinsky, don't know much about him,
No.
but he's got about a 2,375 vote lead right now in Regina. 23 of their 43 polling stations, 53.5% are reporting. So that would be a change,
Wow.
big time, if that happens with Sandra Masters, who got in last time for, oh, I'm back
Do you
in
have Saskatoon on here?
Well, I thought I did. Apparently not, but I think I can type it in.
I think so.
Might take me a minute. I only type with 2 fingers.
By the time you finish this, we'll have number 4 up.
I hope.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see if we can find something here for Saskatoon. Not right now.
In the meantime, I'd like to just give a thank you also out to AccessNow for the work they do in our community. Like, we're here tonight because of Access as well. So I just want to say thanks to Access and all that you do in our community, the money that you give back, the fact that you're a cooperative is wonderful in Saskatchewan and across all our communities. Having the opportunity to do interviews with Access has really given me exposure to some of the greatness in our province and around Yorkton here, just with what I've done so far in the last year or two. So thanks again. And thanks to everybody again for putting your names in and stepping up to do what you're doing, and the work you've put in the past. Beautiful. Thank you for that. As a long time, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, citizen of Yorkton, it's been wonderful to see people stepping up and doing what they're doing in this community is fabulous.
Well, I'm 70.
You're 70, I'm 64.
That's right. I look
You're
68. Feel like I'm 80. That's what happens. When
Feel
you hit
like
a certain
you're 80.
age, it's like you've gotten to the zenith, to the point, and then it's like, uh-oh, it's all down from here.
I see you with
know?
that grandson of yours. You're not like a 70-year-old.
Well, I can still roll around with him, so I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy
Or
about
float
that.
around in the water.
Well, we do that a lot, too. Bought him a trampoline for his birthday. So we're out bouncing there.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's
Had
good
to
for
bet.
Grandpa's health.
Yeah, real good. We had a lot of fun, though. So, nothing
yeah,
out of Saskatoon yet. Got the
No.
Regina. Yep. We'll see here. I'm not sure who's covering it. I thought CTV was doing some stuff, but can't really see much of anything on here.
Well,
at all.
Regina was pretty clear.
That we're just
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah.
Now we're getting the rotation of cycle of the votes that have taken place so far. So again, yeah, we're just waiting here, and it says 10 p.m. They're not going to have anything in Saskatoon, so
Wow.
that's going to be another 33 minutes before they start posting anything there. But kind of keep our eye on Regina, I suppose, if nothing else. What's shaking there is more results coming in. But we're just waiting for our last set of results to come in here before declaring what's going to happen and who are going to be the next Yorkton Council that will get going real soon. First meeting on the 25th, I think they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swearing in ahead of that and get to work, which is a good thing. So they'll get a meeting before, at least one before Christmas.
Right.
And that'll be good for the newcomers. It looks like Stephanie and Greg to kind of get their feet wet with their first meeting,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
and see how things kind of work,
You got her.
you know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see going forward because there's lots of things to go on in the city, that's for sure.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And more coming up that I'm sure we're unaware of, and that's part of it. And, you know, and I think in all governments they have to know that, hey, we heard this. You know, from civic to provincial and federal, they can't just, you know, constantly go, okay, we're going to say that. Yeah. There's
Right.
deals and there's partnerships, and we're still working on it, and nothing's finalized. And you can't just go out and say things and then find out, well, you said it was going to happen and it didn't. You know, so there's certain things that have to be kept in confidence when you're in government
Right.
at all levels.
Well, you know, when you're in for a 4-year term and you've seen how much work you've done to get rolling in the role,
Yep.
and then you're not going to stay on or you are going to stay on, all the stuff is going to start showing up, all the great work that's been done.
Yeah,
in
and
the
you hope to
past.
get that. We're
Yeah.
still waiting on our last
Yeah.
set of rounds. I'm not sure. Looking to see when that may come in. There's a couple city employees here, but
Yeah.
no word on it yet. But there's Aaron Keenley, and you can see
9:29.
that with the big lead, and Stephanie doing real well. Dustin Breers on machine 1 was the one who had the most votes there at 6:06. But again, Ortinsky and Hayter for the second time tied.
Right.
536 and at 572 as well. You just see the trends kind of continuing, how they've gone up. You know, that, Greg went down 100, but then he bounced back up by 116. And
Yeah.
Darcy went up 140 there. And Randy Golden went up by 130. So they're all kind of advancing at close to the same range. Certain trends that are happening, and that's given us the results we have. There hasn't really been a lot of change of those 6.
No.
I think Randy might have been, no, I was going to say 6th after the first one. I think she was
Yeah, she
at
was.
432. So she's moved up to 4th. But again, real close. It's only 4 ahead of Greg Lidvani and only 15 ahead of Darcy Zaharia. So it's not, it's been big changes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the percentage of total is, you take from 13% and drop down to 9%
right.
at Loretta, and that's a big percentage to have to try to, which you're not going to get first, but
like
you're just
380
trying.
votes.
Yeah, and you're trying just to get to 6th place, but that's not even going to be easy. It's a pretty
No.
big
Yeah.
number there too, that they have to overcome. So on the rotation, you see what we have there for those that are running, and you're right, it takes a lot, and those that have been on council, those that have run, those that have been in provincial battles, federal battles, you go back, and it's a big commitment. It's a big commitment to be a federal politician and travel so much to Ottawa and that. Gary Breitkreitz, all these guys who have done this. And, well, it takes its toll on your family, always, at all levels of government. You need to be at meetings and constantly, and even at the civic level, and it takes a strain. Where you,
And I know
you miss some
they're not
things.
just there for the money. Man, there's a lot
No,
of
it's
work to do. You got
community
paid for the
involvement.
hours
Yeah.
they put in and the time they put in.
Giving back to your
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
and all doing it, and for those that are running, good on them. And as we had said before, committees, number of different ways they can still contribute to the city, and in different communities too, because I know some of these that we touched on, and these are small communities, Solcos, these are bedroom communities around here that, don't have a lot of votes. But, it's important that they fill the positions and get people there and do the things they need to do.
Right. And all those
To
bedroom
help those little
communities.
communities, do what they have to do.
Yeah.
And, Saltcoats, Melville got a new pool. Walter Strelaski did a nice job in Melville. That
Churchbridge has
closed
got
it in,
lots happening.
the co-op that got built there and stuff like that. So there's always little things going on in these communities that are pretty important. If, part of it is, you look at senior hockey back up, and that's a big thing in these communities. And Churchbridge, Langeberg, and these places, and Fedor.
Yeah.
Not very big population, but they'll, get 300 people out for a hockey game. It draws a community event and community people together.
We were in Kenora last year when they were in the finals with Swan River. That rink was so packed you couldn't move in there.
Yeah,
And
the
the
Swan Valley
enthusiasm.
Axemen.
Yeah.
Okay? And
Yeah.
it's good for them.
Yeah.
And now I was looking at the Cody Selects. I can't remember the guy's name. He played 6 years in the NHL. Oh yeah, 3 years with Montreal, 1 year with Chicago. He's played for the Cody Selects.
Really?
Oh, I think he'll be a good player.
And the seniors. Well, today when I went to vote, I went into the arena because Rob, my partner, plays seniors. There were like 40 guys out there.
Oh.
All seniors. Like, wow.
These guys aren't seniors. This is senior hockey.
Okay, they're not
They're not
seniors,
seniors.
it's senior hockey.
We're talking 30-year-olds,
okay.
28-year-olds. Yeah.
Yeah. These guys are
called-
seniors.
These are seniors.
Like
yeah,
you.
like me. They're seniors. Yeah, it's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think senior hockey, they don't do any hitting. You know, that left the game a while ago.
I saw a few of them flying around today.
Oh yeah, some get pretty serious, no question. So still nothing coming up on our machine number 4 right now. And the polls have been closed here for an hour and 34 minutes, 94 minutes. So we were thinking if things went well, we would have grand totals by now, but not quite the case. So we're going to have to wait it out here for a few more minutes, and I don't know exactly what that means.
Yeah.
Could be more than a few
It might
before
be.
we're done. In the 2024 municipal election here, Yorkton votes on AccessNow TV. We thank them for that. We've been able to go live and get people, and I got a text from Caitlin Kitsan. She was driving somewhere, listening.
Yeah,
So I guess you get it on
on radio.
thank you.
Yeah.
Is it on radio? How do you know that, buddy? Oh, were you? Oh, well, see, that's a
So-
good thing.
On radio, is that The Rock?
No,
GX?
no, it's not. I think you can get it on probably just social media and pick up Access, and you'd be able to listen to it on your phone, right? I think it works that way, doesn't it? See, there's a link, absolutely. There's a link for everything. So she found the link. Good for her. That's a smart woman, though. That Caitlin Kitsan, she's a busy girl.
She
City of
is.
Yorkton, and now with YBID. I think she's on the Exhibition Association
Yeah.
board and more.
Yep.
She is a young woman with a ton of energy in all the things that she has done. Good for the community,
Yeah.
no question about it. So, yeah, we're waiting to see our final totals here before we're all said and done. And again, this could take a few minutes before they count the last ones up. Public School Board being 3 again, and all acclaimed. Gordon Gender didn't put his name up again, but Jan Morrison and Steve Ryan did, and they are in, along with Carol McCourt, if you didn't see it on the board. Catholic, Jerome Nizgoda. Jerome ran again and was acclaimed, and Doreen Rathgaber and Patricia Zareski didn't, and Jerry Kabelka and Fred Schrader have been acclaimed to the Catholic board here in Yorkton. So congratulations to them, and I'm sure they'll be getting to work as well with the respective boards. Lots going on in education, certainly on the provincial level with everything happening, the teachers. So
Yeah.
you know, school boards always looking for ways to utilize money the best effective and efficient way as well to it. Lots to do in education.
Yeah.
Always is. Health, always is.
Health and education.
Yeah, you know, 2 big ones provincially. And around here, you know, it's municipal. It's looking after, that's garbage pickup.
Yeah.
There's all these things that you know, people don't, it all adds up.
It all adds up. You got that right.
What you have to do to service your community.
Housing, another issue.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
That's something, and
Yeah.
trying to get, you know, new builds, be it apartments, different dwellings, whatever the case may be, it's not easy. Saskatoon and Regina have been looking for federal dollars to build like, you know, put 20 families in a place, or finding a lot of provincial buildings and housing already, and
Right.
you know, renovating that or utilizing those spaces too.
Well, you know, like
So
the
it's-
senior complexes, the aging population, right?
But it's, again, being effective and efficient with the dollars you have, the buildings you have, how you can make it work, not just, you know, you look at, on the provincial level when it came to social services, and G. Makowski, and he got voted out, and he dealt with
A lot.
and some problems. Of
Major
sending
problems
people to hotels run by the MLA, and people were finding out, and the money spent. It was like, what is going on? And finally, it's just, it costs you.
Yeah, it costs
Especially at a
you.
provincial level when you're a minister, and people don't find that effective and efficient. So
Right.
as a result, you pay the price, particularly at that level. And so we'll see how it plays out, but right now, Aaron Keenley ahead of Mitch Hipsley, and there you can see on the board, that we've got that Stephanie Ortinsky, Dustin Breers, Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Greg Litvani, and Darcy Zaharia look like are going to make up the council. Loretta, Richie McInnes, really the only one that could catch Darcy, but again, that's 180 is the difference in vote, and there's only one more set of polling to come out. Our polling number 4, if you could see on the big board, is the advanced mobile, homebound and mail-in, so machine 4, and that's likely hand counted, so it could take a little longer. I mean, on those machines, when they go in, it's automatically counted.
Yeah.
It's automatically there. So when they finish at 8, they know all the votes there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of cross-referencing that to the people that voted and make sure it all balances out
Right.
before they do it. And that's why it took almost an hour. But then
Get that, yeah.
we had 3 in 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
once it started, it was quick. But now they get into this counting, and this could all be hand counted now. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm trying to think 4 years ago, it took a while too, didn't it? Because of the amount that
A
it,
long time.
I forget what time it was when they finally said who,
After 11?
After
Yeah,
11?
Yeah. It was long. I remember that. Yeah.
wow.
I'm getting a sore throat already. I talk a lot, but holy smokes.
Yeah.
This is
I
going
can't,
on,
I
huh?
can't imagine. And you know, like sitting on this side, but sitting on the other side there, and the people in the audience that are, you know, have put their names up, and they're sitting here in anticipation, and it's got to be
and it
nerve-wracking,
is.
honestly.
You know, when I ran politically and won the nomination, after the first round of voting, we were tied, which showed every vote. You know, when they say every vote counts,
Yeah.
my vote won't count. It did
Literally
that night.
every
it
vote
did that night,
counts.
big time. Then when I ran in the election, it was, I watched and the first set of results came in, and I ran against Clay Serby, and he had about a 70 vote lead. It was like 290 to 227, and I looked at the screen and went, it's over. And you just know, following provincial politics, that a certain element of trend is happening, and it kept going that way. And you just know. And the first thing you think of, for me, wasn't so much that I lost. I thought about all the people who were trying to help me get elected, and there were a lot, and basically volunteered to be a part of this. And I really felt bad for them more than anything. And, you know, there's always, when you go into an election and you're a candidate, there's a nervousness, there's a nervous excitement, because you just can't wait for the results. Let's go. I mean, let's, you know. So it's, and then when you see it, it's either you got a real happy thing coming, or it's like, oh, I'm not going to get there. And, you know, and then, you know, from a provincial standpoint, you have to look at it, what was wrong in the campaign that we didn't win, and what could we have done different or better. When it comes to the Civic, there's not a lot more you can do than what you did.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
all of them were active on social media, and lawn signs, and did well at the forums, and you know, why do you win, why do you lose? It's hard to say at this level. Name recognition certainly plays a part.
Well,
in
we're
it.
seeing that.
Stephanie Ortinsky,
Stephanie,
certainly, I think, you know, it benefited her. You know, the Ortinskys have been around in Yorkton for a long while. Well, she grew up here, went to school here, graduated from here. So a lot of people know her, and I know when I spoke with her at the forum, afterwards she was talking to a couple of women, and she had danced Kalenia or some kind of, with their daughters. So it's all these sense memories being touched by these people, seeing her again. And so, you know, that doesn't hurt. And certainly there's a name recognition as well for Greg Litvani. And
He's been
you
here.
know, his parents and Harvey, and you know, that established business here. Sharon's involved in the community, and he's well known and a firefighter. So, you know that name. And you know it, even though Loretta's been here a long time, some of it is back behind the scenes, behind Greg.
Or the
Brian.
support.
Yeah, more of the support group, where Greg is more out front.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, you know, more out front with her family's name. And maybe that's what's helped them tonight, no question. It's been big for Ortinsky, well, even for Litvani, no question, to sit in the position he's in.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting for our final round, and we're 9:44, so hour 44 in. Hopefully it's not going to be till 11 o'clock. That'll be a long wait
I hope
before
not.
we would have that. And right now, if you looked, I think, at the mayoral votes, I'm not sure what it had. It was at 2315. Is that what the
think
number
so.
we'll see on the total votes there?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's total votes cast, though. No, I thought it was
Right.
1435, maybe it was total. We'll wait here until it scans
Yeah.
through and comes around again.
1435.
And you can see that, with Stephanie now at 1570. So we look at last election, Quinn Hayter had 2,426 votes. Well, you get another 500 and Stephanie would be close, but not there.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden we're not achieving the same numbers from last year, or pardon me, 4 years ago. 3,976 voted in 2020. We may not get there.
Right.
It looked really encouraging
It did.
for everything that was going on at the Flexi Hall, and they set another table up, and lots of people were out, and they were encouraged. So we'll see what it ends up, but there's 2316
yeah.
right
With
there showing up.
With 15,000 eligible. Like,
Yeah, and
that makes,
2316 to achieve
That's just-
3976, another 1600. That's a lot.
yeah.
To have to go, so we're not gonna, doesn't look like we're gonna get there, but looks like there's going to be two new faces council, Greg Ledveni and Stephanie Ortinsky, and unless there's a monster change here in machine 4,
Yeah.
looks like Aaron Keenley will be sitting in the mayor's chair for the next 4 years too. But again, we wait and hope that we're going to get something here pretty soon. I imagine they're counting down at the Flexi Hall is where they're doing that. So just going to try and see if we can get the Regina Municipal. You know, for a guy who only types with 2 fingers, I sure make a lot of mistakes.
Do you need some help?
Oh boy. Hold it. Think I got it. There it is. And we'll see what comes up here. So, in Regina, election results not showing anything. Nope. Oh, hold on here.
No.
Nope, still not getting through to anything here. So, we'll wait and see what we
And
can
not
get.
Saskatoon.
Nope, nothing in Saskatoon until they said at least 10 o'clock. So I don't know where I got that Regina one from before, but don't have it now unless you want to play around in there. But yeah, that's where we're sitting now, and looked like Regina, Sandra Masters was in 3rd place after the first round. It was about half the polls had reported, and right now can't seem to click on anything that's going on there, so maybe they're doing some big countings here too of what's taking place. They got a lot of different polling areas in Regina as well, big city, to do a lot of counting. And again, though, as we look at 26% voted in Yorkton 4 years ago, Regina, Saskatoon about the same. Saskatoon's a little better, they were close to 30. But it's been a long time since we've had big numbers in civic votes. Yorkton's been in the 30s, but 26 last time. COVID maybe had something to do with
So
that.
do we even see in the smaller communities the percentage is bigger or not?
Well, some of them don't have that many that vote, so maybe it's easier to get out. I don't know.
Maybe,
We'll have to see what happens tomorrow when everybody files all their numbers, because some of them I'm sure aren't going to be out tonight for the public, but those that ran will know whether they've won. But they may not post them on their websites, community websites, until tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But
There really is no excuse not to get out there.
well, I just got a report from Jessica Mitsala, and she is the returning officer who just sent this a moment ago. Last machine is running reports.
So it won't be too long.
I guess I don't know what that means, but apparently
How
the last
long?
machine is running reports, so maybe it's spitting out the numbers as we speak. See, she's talking, you know, as a returning officer
Yeah.
lingo.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
going to say that's going to be not too long.
No, now
Yeah.
that she said
Yeah.
it, I'm sure the reason she
That's
said
right.
it is that it's going to be here momentarily, we
Don't-
hope.
Don't worry, Randy.
Last time I know when we did this in 2020 was at the Gallagher Center.
Yeah.
And we had an opportunity to have Jess on a couple times,
Oh, yeah.
talking about process and things of that nature, because everything was there. Well, she is there now,
Yeah.
well, where everybody is, but of course, you know, Access is able to do this much easier in City Hall chambers where
yeah.
they actually have all their setup in here. So it worked out really well for them. And I know they had some challenges last time.
Yeah, they did.
That, you know, was tough. You know, you try to do different things to add to it, but we'll wait it out here. And that was just sent a minute ago by Jessica Metsalis. So we're hoping that in a matter of minutes we'll have something posted here. And it'll be the final results for tonight. There will be verifications tomorrow. And then I believe Friday at some point is when it will all be made official. And then, you know, there's sign-offs and you know, a lot of legal things need to be done anytime you hold an election. It's not like when I lost the election at Angus Spice School in grade 4. You know, it didn't take long. Only 6 people voted, and I lost 5-1. It wasn't good. It was a trend. It was a trend I never should have run after that.
Me too in grade
you know.
6 at Simpson
Yeah.
with Queen of Goosebumps.
See?
Except I won.
You know, I remember when, see, that's good, you won. They opened MC Knoll and
St. Mike.
St. Michael's.
Yeah.
And they asked me to MC it, the opening, and I go, sure. So then I did the opening and I went, you know, I'm not sure that I'm the guy who should be doing this. I said, you know, I went to Simpson School and it's closed. I went to Fairview School and
It's closed.
It's closed. I went to Angus Spice School and it's closed. I went to Victoria School and it's closed.
Not a good thing.
Well, a lot of schools back in the day in Yorkton. And 3 beauties were Simpson, Victoria, and Burke. All
Yeah.
brick buildings,
Yeah.
beautiful schools
Yeah.
back in the day. And now we're kind of veering off, but we're trying to find some things to talk about. And I had Anna Ingham, who was my grade 1 teacher, Mrs. Ingham, and she got a national award for the blended sight and sound method of teaching.
Wow.
Basically, it was how kids would sing to learn.
Oh.
A, B, I hear you, and this was her method. And as a grade 1 teacher, it was fun, and you didn't know, but you were learning.
Yeah.
And that's you know, that's a wonderful
Yeah.
teacher who can do those kinds of things. So we've been blessed in Yorkton. to
I think
have-
Mrs. Buckles did a lot of that too.
Yeah,
didn't-
she was very good,
She didn't
too.
teach me, but she taught my
Yes,
sisters. and
very good teacher.
She was
too.
great. And she used to do a grandma's camp out at Good Spirit at Burgess Beach.
Well, sure.
Sunnyside
Out
in
there?
the day.
Okay.
And she inspired me because I would watch her with her grandkids and what she did, and then I did the same thing with mine. Now these kids are like
See?
20 years old and
I
they
know.
still talk about it.
I
So,
know.
you know, and getting kids, young people involved in stuff is key. Like we do, you know, an entrepreneur camp for kids. And now they're hosting a big one in Winnipeg right now called
Right.
the Kids Boss Camp.
Good. Yeah.
And I got to speak to them on Zoom. And it was so inspiring to see the ideas these little kids, well, not little, 8
Yeah,
to
yeah.
12, but these young
Still,
kids had
that's pretty young.
for starting business.
Yeah.
You start them at those
Coming
ages.
up with ideas,
Yeah.
young entrepreneurs.
There's no
Yes.
filters. They just,
Yeah.
the world's your oyster.
They're not that jaded and cynical yet. Yeah, that happens when you get a little older. Yeah. When
Well,
that
you know,
happens. But
as we get
teachers
older-
can have such a big impact.
oh, they're probably
Good
one of the
teachers.
biggest.
Good teachers
Yeah.
can have such that you'll always look back as an adult who had an impact. You always think of a teacher
Yeah.
who really had some, you know,
Yeah.
did something in your life. So
Yeah.
I've been lucky to have a lot of good ones here in Yorkton too,
Mrs.
and all over the place. It's a tough racket now.
Yeah.
Not like it used
Not
to be.
like when we were young.
Oh, when I went to school, there was corporal punishment. I mean, nobody wanted to scrap, so you tuned up, right?
Exactly.
It's a little different now, but you know, we evolve.
Yeah.
And we change, and times change, and we as people have to adjust to that too.
I was up in Prince Albert recently, and I just knew where my old schools were, because Randy, when I moved here in
What
grade
school in
5,
Prince Albert?
I
I
went
was born and raised in Prince Albert till I was 6.
no way.
And then my dad went, I don't want to work nights at CN anymore in Yorkton, so he took a day job at CN in Yorkton.
And
He
ended
was
up in
working
Yorkton.
nights in PN, yeah. And then
So you
he
came
ran
here
the
what
yard.
grade? What age?
My grade 1 year,
Oh yeah,
yeah, 1960.
yeah. I came here for grade 6.
Look at
Simpson
that.
School.
Simpson. Yeah, I went there. It was my grade 1 school. Simpson.
Yeah.
Well, it was part of the past, eh? The things
Yeah.
that back to, and I can remember, at all the elementary schools, we had outdoor rinks. We all played against each other. And, you know, I was at Fairview, and you'd play Columbia, or you'd play St.
Right.
Al's.
Yeah.
And all the kids would be around the boards watching the game. And, well, I don't know, do they even have outdoor rinks in a lot of these schools now? We always
don't think
used to
they
want
do.
to go out and clean the ice and flood it, so we didn't have to be there for morning exercises, where all the school met and they talked about what went on. And, well, we got to go clean the ice. They caught on to us
Yeah.
pretty quick, though. That
No kidding.
That didn't last long. But a lot of good memories in a city in which we'll continue with a new council, moments away from finding out how many new faces that's going to be. It looks as though the 4 incumbents, Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Darcy Zaharia, and Dustin Breers, are going to be safe. They are solidly entrenched in the top 6. Darcy at 6, but that's a 180 vote lead over Loretta Ritchie McInnes. And Greg Ledvany, Stephanie Ortinsky are the 2 new faces there. The next time we get votes, and Jessica said they were tabulating, and hopefully that'll be soon, it will start again with mayor, and then it will slide to the councilors' final votes. And then, of course, school board, it's all acclaimed on there. So we're waiting for our final tally here. We actually now have been on the air for 2.5 hours. We had a pregame show at 7:30.
And we had a pregame show with no volume, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We
Yeah,
were
we
using-
started the
yeah.
show with no volume. So we were talking, and I'm sure people at home are going, look at those idiots. Turn the volume on, for goodness sakes, right?
Or not.
Yeah, or not.
Or not.
Or not. And then finally we got volume. And then when I thought the volume was turned off and took our break, it wasn't. And people were texting me because I made a comment about something I had in my drink. But that was the worst thing I said. But then I thought, wait a minute. I'm on Access. They can't fire me. I don't even work for them.
Exactly.
So what are they going to do,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we're okay. We're okay then. So
Well, you know what? It's just being real. Being real. I mean,
the long nights, you get
Yeah.
a little goofy after
Yeah.
a while. You run out of things to say. We're
Yeah.
talking about when we were in grade 1, for goodness sakes.
well, you know, going back to moving to Yorkton in grade 5 and Dad managing the Coke plant. That's why we came
Oh, the
here.
Coca-Cola.
Ed
Where was
Hauser,
that?
Hauser on
Set
agriculture.
on Agriculture Avenue out there. Yeah,
and
Coca-Cola
we
plant.
lived upstairs in the Coke plant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh
cool.
my gosh, it was so much fun.
Could you sneak down and get a bottle every now and then?
You know what? I give some credit living there because the guy that did the Coke syrup, he
Oh,
called me
yeah,
and he goes,
yeah,
come and look
yeah,
at this. And I get up on this stool and I'm looking in this great big thing and he's pouring
vat.
bags and bags of sugar. And guess what I don't drink today? Pop. I don't drink pop. All that sugar he was putting in there and the syrup and...
I've still got a ton of relatives in Prince Albert. They
Do
used to have
you?
a bowl plant, a Bohemian plant.
Yeah,
A lot of my
yeah.
uncles would work there. So I had a few aunts who wouldn't drink beer after
Yeah.
they saw how they
Yeah.
made it and what they did there. And that's like, oh. 5 minutes, we're going to get our next count? Should.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Don't shit on us.
Yeah. Make sure now.
Yeah.
We're going to hold you...
Another 5 minutes. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're hopefully within 5 minutes to get things going. Oh, I got the message. Gee, the people that are listening, the bus, Dustin Naring. I talked about the guy that's going to play for the Cody Selects,
Yeah. He gave you a name?
Dale Weiss.
Oh,
NHLer for 6 or 7 years.
yeah.
Okay? Florida, Montreal, think you're in Chicago. Now he's going to play for the Cody Selects. Think he'll have a good year? Yeah, he'll be all right. I think so. It's interesting because at that senior level, and I know when a young Gervais playing there, and there's a couple other kids that played with the PA Mintos. They're all playing there now.
Wow.
You get all these good young players coming back, and they even talked about it in Kenora when I talked to a couple of people there about the young families that are coming back, and there's 2 Wilgoshes playing, and the guy I was talking to was their dad. He had played, and because we're getting a lot of young families coming back. Now, you know, some of them I think they were saying employed at Louis Dreyfus, and you know, you take a look at some of what's being built and continues to be built. That needs to be, there has to be maintenance and maintained, and I know NL Construction is involved out there, and a lot of subcontractors, and that's a lot of work. That's work that goes on. And he was saying there's a number of guys from Kenora, electricians, whatever, that have been hired as subcontractors. So those 2 plants have been, and then of course the pea protein plant now expansion with LDC, and that's big.
That's big.
And I was saying to Nicole Campbell with Yorkton Concrete, the path they were wearing out on Smith Street, running concrete out there. Oh no, we're back on York Road. It's open. So it was like good. And again, we've talked about York Road earlier, and I don't know, 16 million, whatever it was, but 2-year project. But what a great job by everybody who did that, and what that's going to do for drainage. But just the fact it can handle heavier loads of traffic, because it was just never designed for that. And you'd cross off 4th Avenue onto it, and you had to go over the ruts and stuff. It was just like in bad shape. It was a needed project in the city. The new City Works building, which is going to be there far beyond me and you. And the old one was just bad shape. And again, you got to start thinking ahead to, you know, does everybody benefit from that? Well, ultimately, because you get all these machines, and it's easier there, and it's up to date, and clean air for the employees, and lighting and everything. It's just so much better. And eventually it'd have to be done, because it was in pretty bad shape. So lots of things that you look at in a community and you budget for, and people go, when are you doing this? Well, we're putting money away for it. Like again, it's what you do and how you do the things you have to do. It's not just like, you know, well, we're going to do it, and sometimes you borrow money and you got to do that, and all the things, but it's all part of what you have to do to run a city this size. And,
you know, we
get things done.
We hosted an event out at the Owl's Nest at the Deer Park Golf Course, and what a fabulous facility!
Nice place, huh?
Oh,
yeah.
It, like, people came from Regina, Moose Jaw, and everything for this event, and they're going, "Wow, is this ever beautiful?" Like, what a great place in the fall to host something.
And it is, and that's a good opportunity, and again, how you can utilize certain things in many ways. For different events that you might not have thought of. And,
that's what we did, and we were just going, we could host it there, why not?
And that, again, is a beautiful golf course, has been for the longest time. One of the best around, and even in Saskatchewan. It's in magazines and stuff like that. And now at the clubhouse, another thing that's going to be there a long, long time. You know, sort of thing. And I know the old clubhouse, and I was down and I showered in that place, and oh boy, it was getting pretty rough out there.
It was getting pretty run down.
You know, there was no doubt about it. And again, it's a matter of how you look at it, and that's where a council has to sit down and what is their vision ahead? That are we just going to put some money into this and keep it and keep putting money into it? It's like having the used car that's just nickeling you. And you're constantly having to get repairs done. Or do we make the plunge and build? And so when you do, and again, when you're in public office like this, public service, there'll be detractors. It's not needed. It's too much money. It's everything else. But, you know, you have to make a decision based on the best information you get, what's best for the city, its residents, and you move forward. And, you know, that decision's been done. We're doing it. let's move on to the next one.
Let's move on to the next one,
Yeah,
exactly.
and it's not easy, and, you know, nobody likes detractors and people who
Yeah,
yell and aren't nice
yeah.
to each other. And unfortunately, in the society we're in now, particularly when you get on this and how people can say some of the things they say, it's a pretty sad statement
It is.
to the human element, that's
You know,
for sure. So.
I was impressed years ago when they called and they had almost like town hall meetings and stuff on doing the infrastructure and under Broadway. And as businesses on Broadway, this is what we're going to do, this is what the plan is, because remember it was going to be a third provincial, a third federal, a third municipal. And
Oh,
it
right,
never
yeah.
happened, but you look 10 years ago to today and what the cost is for that. And I mean, that's,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
cities in
They always go
Saskatchewan.
up, yeah, that's not going to change. You know,
No.
even the effect in people, you know, when the Gallagher Center expansion with the pool and everything else, and the increase in cost, and it started, part of it was, you know, the 2008 Olympics in China.
Yeah,
China was buying up steel literally all over the world.
yeah.
So the price goes up. That affects the cost of the pool in Yorkton.
Darn rates it does.
From China. Like,
Yeah.
people don't understand the cause and effect of how certain things can happen. And it's like, what do you mean it's gone up that much? Well, here's what's happening in
Here's
the world.
what's happening,
you
supply
know?
and demand,
Yeah,
right?
and it makes a big, big difference.
Yeah.
Well, I might text Jess Mitsala back and go, gee, thought you were adding this up and we were going to get these numbers in a hurry.
No, they'll be here.
No, not yet.
10:06. So what else do you see, Randy?
Oh boy, I
in-
just got another text here from incumbent mayors biting the dust. Mitch goes down. Same is happening in Regina, Moose Jaw, and Prince Albert.
Oh, wow.
Cities are making changes. Saskatoon, of course, doesn't have an incumbent mayor. Charlie Clark not running.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I wonder.
Of what's happening there. So, wow. And again, you know, always the mayor's a vote. He's one of 7. But the mayor becomes the face of your community.
Oh, darn right.
And if there's disillusionment in, or you're disillusioned in your community, it's the mayor who may take the biggest hit.
Yeah.
As
Well,
the face of your community and the one represent, as opposed to a councilor's. Yet, when
It's
you look at it,
everybody's.
it's not really a fair way to look at it because it's just one vote. But
Right.
it's a perception, I think, of how people think. And, you know, you could put a new person in this mayor, but, you know, you'll see
Right.
how that works
We'll
out
see.
because you're
What's-
still looking at a relatively same council. So.
Yeah.
But again, it's the perception of how what happens at each level of government and how people think, and you know, sometimes they don't vote for the best reasons. Some ways,
No.
some are followers and
Yeah.
whatever.
And you know, or when you're in the coffee shop and you're hearing people throw it at one person. Oh, this person
Yep.
did this in Yorkton. No, it's a
Here we
team
go.
here. It's a team.
So
Oh.
there it is. Dustin Breer, Stephanie Ortinsky, Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Greg Lidvani, and Darcy Zaharia. Congratulations to those 6. They will make up council in Yorkton. And Loretta Ritchie McInnes just could not make up the ground that was needed in the last, and you can see in the last polls,
19.
Breers again. Dustin did really well in this election. Stephanie did really well, so did Quinn. Randy Golden holding in well. Greg Lidvani, obviously, really well. And you look at Greg 6th in Machine 4, but still 6th, which is in that space you want to be in. Loretta Ritchie McInnes came closer in that one, but
Yeah.
not nearly enough as she is, you know, I don't know, almost 200 back of Darcy. So Breers, Ortinsky, Hayter, Golden, Lidvani, and Zaharia. That is the council for the city of Yorkton. 2024 for the next 4 years.
Yeah, congratulations.
They will be in.
and-
Congratulations to them. And we're waiting for it to go over. And did we get the mayor votes? Did that come up? That hasn't
No.
yet. Should be the next one that comes up here, and then we'll see. And again, it was a big margin
there it
that Mitch Hipsley was going to have. There it is. And Aaron Keenley has been elected as mayor of Yorkton, 2,438 votes. Mitch Hipsley, 1,476, 62% to 37. And a clean sweep by Aaron Keenley. He won every one of the pollings and won them all by big margins, too.
Yeah.
Surprise?
Wow. Well, you know
I'm
what?
not surprised
No.
necessarily he won,
Yeah.
but
Just by that much.
this much to me means
Yeah.
there was a want for change.
A want for change. And you know what?
And that goes right to the mayor.
Yeah. And it
Yep.
goes all the way across, doesn't it? In whatever politics it is right now, people are looking for change.
And when there's change, what happens? You look provincially. Scott
Yeah.
Moe still got
Yeah.
in, but lost a lot of
Yeah.
seats. Change.
Yeah.
You guys better start doing things differently and
Right.
pay attention,
Yeah.
or you may
Yeah.
not make it next
Yeah.
time. The Liberals at the national level
Yeah.
are pretty much, I don't know how they'd ever win.
I don't
They're
know.
in such bad shape.
They are.
There's just no way. And again, it shows what happens. And that could be just a monstrous sweep of seats there. As long as
Yes.
Polyev doesn't shoot himself in the foot here in the next year, he'll breeze through.
Yeah.
No question
Yeah,
about it.
I think you're right.
Hey, I want to thank Cole Smith,
Access,
Ron
yeah.
Irvin, AccessNow for the opportunity to do this. This has been election 2024. Congratulations to Aaron Keenley, Quinn Hayter, Randy Golden, Darcy Zaharia, Dustin Breers, Greg Litvani, and Stephanie Ortinsky. That is the council for Yorkton for 2024. On behalf of Lori Renton, I'm Randy Atkinson. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.